Did you say shut the fuck up? I'm starting straight.
I didn't say shut the fuck up. That's mean.
That was the best combination. Like shut the fuck up.
No, you
because
said shut
everybody...
up. I was like, I'm starting stream.
Oh,
It would have been funny
I
if
was.
both of you
I
had said
just-
shut the fuck up, though.
That's
I-
really.
Did we both say?
I was like, shut up, and I'm like, no, you shut up.
No, you
We're
shut
so
up.
You shut up. We're so
Everybody
enthralled
shut
by
up.
this matcha. Enthralled. Oh god, it's starting already. So we
Enthralled.
don't have enthralled. We don't have matcha things like this in the United States, but holy fuck, do I love matcha.
Whoa. Well, it's like my dad bought it in some kind of random store. We don't have that in a regular grocery store. So that's more like a special
Special
thing.
treat.
Mhm.
Oh shit.
Cat
I look for a cat? Is there
behind
a cat?
you.
Oh
Behind
my
you is a cat.
gosh! Gussie! Hello! Come on! You go with your sister. Come on. I was like, cat, where? I forgot that we got a new comforter and the cats love to sleep on the comforter, and my bed is right above here.
Mm-hmm.
So they were all just kind of like chilling up there on the canopy, and I'm just like, oh, the babies. I didn't want to disturb them, but I knew eventually they'd want to leave.
Wait,
Be loud
do your
and
husband and you both sleep up there?
Yeah, it's
That's
quite
so
funny.
cute.
It's so what happened is this. So I live in New York, and I'm not in the city, but I'm in the suburbs of New York City, and real estate here is real expensive. So my husband and I and my two cats live in a 1-bedroom railroad style apartment, meaning it's not two full bedrooms. It's like you have to walk through a den in order to get to a bedroom and a bathroom. So it's not like a closed off bedroom. So in order to save space, because I used to stream in what I called the shame corner, it was like a corner of my bedroom. It was just so sad. It was not cute, and like I feel like I had no space for me. I didn't have my own room. I don't have my own space. My husband has like a really cool corner of that railroad den area, but I had nothing. I had the little corner thing. So he came up with the idea of, what if we get a loft bed? Get a loft bed.
Loft bed.
So that you could stream on the bottom, like you could put your computer and it can feel like it's your own space. So we were like, I was like, first I'm like, wait, what? Like I couldn't imagine, like, is it a bunk bed? Like, what do you mean? I couldn't even imagine.
Like kids, like a kid's bed. It's really cute.
Right. And I'm like, what? So I started looking into it, and I'm like, dude, we can make this baller. So we ended up getting the loft bed, and we sleep on top. The thing is that, you know, nothing dirty could happen up there because it's right by the ceiling. So if you were to like sit up, you'd be like bonk.
The dirty things have to happen in different rooms.
Yeah, so you kind of have to just coffin. You have to coffin all night like this. But hey, I have my own space now. Right? I just have
it's not a very comfortable sleep, I suppose, if you cannot move.
Funny, Sumi, the weirdest DM that I've ever gotten before was someone about a year and a half ago saying to me, hey, can I ask you something weird? And I'm like, what? He goes,
I don't know if I want to say yes here.
Right, but my curiosity is just like, if you don't find out, Allison, you'll think about this for the rest of your life. So I'm like, what? And he goes, you're married, right? And I'm like, oh no. Like I'm thinking about, you know what I mean? The next thing is like a picture of a wiener, like something like that. Like, you're married, right? And I'm like, I am. And he goes, but you have a loft bed? And I was like, I do. I'm married and I have a loft bed. And he was like,
both.
Okay. And I go, why? And he's like, I have plenty of married friends. and none of them have loft beds. I just didn't think that's what you had when you're married. I was like, hold on. Can you show me the clause of the almighty loft bed that says that if you are married, you cannot participate in being the highest in your apartment building? Like, I've gotten so many weird DMs. But are you married? Yes. And a loft bed? Oh, imagine. Holy shit. It is. I
I
mean,
love that.
does anything
This question
top
could
that?
have gone a very different route. So actually, it was a good question.
I was like, the are you married? I was like,
No.
God damn it. But
What
then
do you want from me?
imagine I stopped right there. I would have never known the magic of you're married
Mhm.
and have a loft bed.
Both?
God,
That's
the dangers.
impossible.
The dangers. It's like it reminds me of when like Max is so like cute and innocent and he'll say like
Sure.
premarital hand holding. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, imagine.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I feel like Max always acts innocent, but in real life he is
Oh,
everything but.
absolutely. Like, I mean, have you met you guys? Like, I'm all like, I'm the combination of all
He's
the sus of
completely
you guys.
spoiled. He's
Like,
completely spoiled, this son of ours. He's
So
yes.
go ahead. Oh no,
No,
I was just gonna
he's
say,
like he likes to be called a good boy. He likes to be
mhm.
called sir. So he's definitely a mixture. I forget what it's called. A mixture between Dom and Sap.
yeah.
Switch.
He's a switch. Yes, correct. Yeah, he's definitely a switch. He wants to be a good boy, but the next moment he wants to be called sir.
I'm a switch in
This is
my
a new
humor too. I'll
realization.
talk about things getting in my butthole and then I'll be mad about it later.
He does. He absolutely does. There's a clip that he just put out when he's playing that indie horror game, The Lacerator, and it's like Max, and he's like, "That's me," and then it's like the man that loves sex. He's like, "Not me."
It's so
I'm
true.
like, what?
Max is it's a very complex character,
Yeah. I'm like an
I would
onion. I
say.
have a lot of layers.
And I cry when you're sad. I was gonna say cry when you're peeled, but that was really weird.
It would also be kind of insulting to say, like, I cry when you are peeled. Like, you're naked. You being naked makes me sad.
Fucking hilarious.
Being naked makes me sad. Dude, if anyone ever said that to me, that would be it. I don't know what I would do.
Okay, I'm putting my clothes on and I'm gone.
I'm sleeping, I'm showering in full fucking clothes.
But there's
No
this
one
song
will
it's
see.
called I Like You So Much Better When You're Naked. I don't remember. I think it was the soundtrack of a horror game. Oh, yes. I think it was Lesbian Vampire Killers. There's a song called I Like You So Much Better When You're Naked. And it's just like a pop punk song. And there's this woman who just talks about how much she likes a guy, but she likes him even better when he's naked. And so it's the opposite of you make me sad when you're naked.
Our first year anniversary, not married, but just as a couple, my now husband, boyfriend at the time, we drove to Montauk, Long Island, and
Walk.
and for a present, he made me a mixtape of all the songs
Aw.
that made me think of him. In the mixtape, he created a booklet of all of the lyrics. He hand wrote them, and he put in red all of the ones that were most important to him. And I'm like, that's so sweet. So he's like, let's listen to it on our way to Montauk. Now, presented on the CD were 12 songs, okay? We're driving, we get to the 12th song. The 12th song ends. I'm like, oh, that was so sweet. That's it. Track 13. And I'm like, oh, there's track 13. I'm like, oh, there's another song. I look over at him now. What he's actually doing is laughing, holding in tears because he's laughing so hard. But I
He's been
think
waiting
he's
for this for
crying.
12 songs.
You're fucking right. So I look over and he's like this. And I'm like, oh, it's so nice. And the song is You Belong With Me, Fatty, by like I don't know, the Smiths or something. You belong with me, Fatty. You're the one I truly, truly love. He's laughing so hard. I'm like, you fucking piece of shit. How fucking could you?
And yet you married him.
I did. It's been a long
Couldn't
time.
be that bad. How long was it, like, until you got married? I see me.
I see. She's like, the spoon. There's no. I'm not eating. My spoon's
Just tea.
big.
Just tea.
We were together 8 years before we got engaged.
Mhm.
And then we got married after 10 years. We actually were planning our wedding for 2020. And then the pandemic hit and our wedding got canceled. And at that point, I was cranky because I'm just like, it's been long enough. I'm not waiting any longer. So then we eloped on Halloween 2020 underneath the blood moon. And it was me,
Fucking
him,
nuts.
my such nerds. My friend from roller derby was the justice of the peace, and my friends Katie and her husband Freddie were our witnesses, and we just went out into the woods and we fist bumped, and then we actually voted because that was the day of that you went to go vote. And the people were like,
very,
why are you
very
so
good that you
dressed
still
up?
did that. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Love
we went
that.
all dressed up too. We were looking all pretty, and they're like, wow, you look guys look nice to vote. And we're like, we just got married, and they're just like, oh, not in that extent, but but yeah, it's been a long time, and I've molded him very well. He never used to like horror movies. He hated them.
Oh my god.
I even was just like, how am I with somebody who doesn't like horror? But now he's just like, he's puts on horror. Like, he loves anything by A24. He loves Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, which is,
to be fair, my husband also is not, like, I don't like watching horror movies with him because he ruins them, because he sees all the plot holes instantly, and he also has to call them out. And also, if there's like a twist, he will always know it for like previously. He's very selective about the horror movies that he likes. So A24 always goes well. Like The Lighthouse, I think he likes very much. Get Out. All the elaborate, what the snobs call,
like the artsy,
elevated horror. Yeah. That works with him. But as soon as it's like he likes Scream, but Scream is also so meta that it's fun again.
Classic.
Yeah. So
I don't think I could be friends with anyone who doesn't like the classic Scream. Like, that's just quintessential, just horror. You know, that created the rules of how to survive in a horror movie. Like, if we didn't have Scream, we wouldn't know that we can't say, "I'll be right back."
It didn't really create them, but it called them out, like, out loud. So oh my god. I'm not gonna comment on chat there. What happened was my moderator and good friend Pissy just admitted that he has never seen Scream, which is insane to me.
Wow.
Yeah, so Scream didn't really create those rules. but it
Mhm.
called them out. Like it was like, have you ever noticed that this happens in all of the slashers? And then you're like, yeah, I guess that happens in all the slashers.
I love it. That time of that kind of like teen drama slasher, that was a
Mhm.
special time. You had Scream, you had I Know What You Did Last Summer, you had what were the other ones that were coming out at that time? Because there were a
Urban
couple more.
Legend. I think that's
So
an
I love
good.
that
underrated
movie.
one. Yeah, I feel like
So
people
good.
never talk about it, but it's like right up there with I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream for me.
Right, and I think it's a really good watch actually if you do I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend back to back because they have
Hmm.
Urban Legend has a lot of I Know What You Did Last Summer in it.
Yeah, because I Know What You Did Last
Definitely a
Summer is
sleeper.
basically also like a urban legend
Mhm.
reference movie. Yeah.
What did you think about the new I Know What You Did Last Summer?
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it.
Uh,
I told Pissy, the one that hasn't seen Scream, that we should watch I Know What You Did Last Summer soon because
Pissy,
at my
aka
birthday,
mhm.
Pissy aka
Are you I was gonna say a pissy aka oh my god, I forgot what I was gonna say. Go ahead, Sumi. My bad.
at my birthday party, my birthday party we call it Sumicon. So I invite lots of people from Europe that are in my community. And it's really nice every year because there's like 10 people in my house that are from all over Europe. Uh, and PC was there the first time this year, and we watched the original I Know What You Did Last Summer, and then we learned that there will be a new one, and we definitely have to watch it soon. I'm very, very intrigued. I was listening to a podcast the other day, Faculty of Horror, and
Okay.
they talked about this is like two women who are like very feminist, and they always look at horror movies with like a feminist eye, and they were talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer, and it made me so much want to watch the new one, but I haven't yet.
Were they talking about the original one or were they talking about the new one?
They were talking about the original one, but they were mentioning the new one a couple of times. I don't know if they liked it or not. Did you like it?
Dude. I I think so. I think everyone should form their own opinion of the movies because I love some movies that people fucking hate. I mean, I love a Society that we've watched
Mhm.
recently together, but that is not a movie for everybody. For me, I haven't found a reboot of a like a classic horror film that I really enjoyed,
Oh,
and
really? Not at all.
this one particularly, um, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I I within 15 to 20 minutes, I was like, I know the ending and I know who it
Hmm.
is. And I
Yeah.
was correct. And I hate that. I hate when I
Mm.
can guess what's going to happen and who it is right off the bat. I did it with
Yeah.
the reboot of Scream too. Scream
Hmm.
5. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's this and this person. Like
Yeah.
so like it's so predictable to me and that takes away the enjoyment out of it. The only remake or reimagining of a horror movie that I like, and I swear I am not being biased, was the Evil Dead
Evil Dead.
remake
I
where
knew it. I knew it.
Mia as Ash. Yeah, I thought it was I am obsessed with Evil Dead, and I needed it to
I didn't
feel Evil
know.
Dead. I did. Oh!
Never would have guessed.
That is
every,
such
every
news.
every night as I go to sleep, I'm just like, Heavenly Lord and Savior Bruce Campbell. Good night. um, I really just wanted it to feel like Evil Dead, and it did. It had the goofiness, it had the cut, the angles, the quick, 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 quick. It had
You thought it was
you
Goofy,
know,
the remake? Oh, you
it
mean the old
had
one or the new one?
the one with Mia,
Ugh.
with the girl with the red dress. They bring her to the cabin to
The
where she's
one
on
that gets
drugs.
like raped by the tree.
Yes, yes, the
That,
angry
that
molesting
was I
tree.
had to look away in that movie. This movie
original
was a turning point for me in horror movies, because when I was younger, like a teenager, like Max's age,
Yep.
uh,
Our son.
I could watch anything. Nothing shocked me. And it's like, and then I realized when I watched the trailer of the Evil Dead remake, a reboot, there was this scene with the cutter with the uh which they
The box
show in
cutter?
the trailer, and I was like, I had to close my eyes. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why in my late 20s I suddenly have to look away in horror movies when I never had a problem with that at all? Like, where's this coming from? Yeah, and so Evil Dead, the new one, I didn't find it goofy at all. I thought it was terrifying and disgusting, and I had to like peek through my eye and my hands. It was so scary.
I love that emotion. Like,
Mhm.
so like scary and terrifying. Does that make a movie good for you when you feel like that?
Well, sometimes, like the movie that made me scared the most. By the way, if there's like background noise, I don't know if it gets filtered out, but there's like noise outside. Um, the movie, like I watched a lot of horror movies. Like, I think my letterbox last time I looked was about 1,000 horror movies. Uh, and the only horror movie, wow, that ever made me scream was Hereditary.
I could talk about Hereditary for the next 3 hours because that movie is so many things. It is, I feel like, a turning point in horror. And
Mhm.
it is either that you are in for it or you are not.
Yeah.
Kind of like if you look at Hereditary and then you look at, let's say, The Nun or Annabelle, or like kind of like a Blumhousey film. They're on two different just wavelengths. But
Mhm.
the people who really enjoy, and I'm not saying everybody, just what I've noticed, who
Mhm.
really enjoy those kind of Blumhousey, I'm gonna say simple, the simple jump scare, predictable movies, don't really enjoy the art house, Hereditary, Midsummer, kind of the psychological
And
horror
the other
on
way
the
around as
inside,
well,
and the
honestly.
other way around as well. I'm not a fan of, I need more.
I
I need
hated
more.
Annabelle. Oh my god.
They're all so bad. They're movies that are made for, and like, don't at me. This is just my opinion, everybody. They are movies made for people who do this while they watch movies. That's what. But it's like, you know what I
Yes,
mean? We
yes.
all do it. We all do. We're all on our phones and stuff like that. But if you're on your phone and you're watching Midsommar, I guarantee you've missed something. It forces you to watch and it forces you to think. Not all
Mhm.
horror is blood and guts, Eli Roth, cheap scares when you see a mirror and it closes and it opens again. And it's more than that. And I feel like horror fans like you and I and Max and people who are really into the genre can appreciate this new form of horror, this more art housey form, because they're original, they're interesting. I don't want to look at my phone because I'm genuinely engaged in this
Yeah.
story because I've never seen it before. But Hereditary was that movie that had, at that point, was like the turnaround of, or the becoming of, this art housey film, this art housey genre. It is scary. It eats you on the inside. And the second watch is even better than the first because you now know what's happening,
Max,
and
stop
you get to
giggling.
look at all the stuff. What is happening? What is it? What,
He's
Max is
giggling
saying
about
so
eating
good.
somebody, I think.
He
He's
said
thinking about
eats
eating
it eats
somebody?
you on the inside, and I was like, damn, okay, that's really funny.
It's so interesting to me that you placed that on Hereditary, because for me, I think that was like 3 years earlier with the Babadook. I think that was the starting
Ooh.
point. Like the Babadook, It Follows, and then Hereditary clearly is
Yes.
in that realm. But
Hmm.
I feel like the Babadook was kind of like the, okay, we are using And it's not a new thing. It has happened before, but it became a trend, kind of like a trend to put like trauma and all the dark things that humans go through into a horror movie. And then there's also the movies that try to do that and try to be that, and they fail. Like Smile. I feel like Smile took like a hammer and was like, "Look, we are super deep," and it's just trying to get it into our heads. And I was like, "You are not that deep. You are just aren't."
Yes. I couldn't agree with you more, actually. I feel like Babadook is now very popular. But at the time of Babadook coming out, it, unlike Hereditary, that had a huge release, so it was like more open to people hearing about it and seeing it. Babadook was this kind of like indie horror that just came out to like Netflix and other like platforms. It wasn't a big theatrical release, right? So
And it was
not
Australian, right?
everybody. It is
Like an Australian
Yep.
production. Yeah.
It is so good. And I'll say, like, that child will go down for me as the most annoying child ever in a movie. They did so absolutely so well. But Babadook, yeah, it takes you and this is how I feel during it. And I know it's sick to say, but this is the feeling that I want and I kind of crave during the
like
movie.
a pressure in your chest, and it's just like
Absolutely. Maybe it's getting older and I'm past the cheap jump scares and I want a little bit more, and now that's what I crave. But absolutely, Babadook was kind of the first to take that art style and make a movie about something with a much deeper meaning, followed by It Follows, that had a super short theatrical release. I was actually lucky enough to go see it in the theaters. And when that movie ended, everyone was like, what the fuck did I just watch? Because but everyone in there, no one left. We were all talking about it. And when do you do that in horror anymore? It's fantastic. It excites me in so many ways.
Yeah, it's really good. I enjoy it too.
When I wanted to ask you, because I was so curious. So I know you well now, Sumi, and I love you.
She knows me well.
We've been on.
You two have made a child together. You guys know each other.
We have made a child.
And we watched a movie where people had an orgy together.
We did.
Just the two of us.
That's fun. That's funny. It was interesting. But first of all, we have not introduced you. Max, would you like to introduce our guest for our 3-year anniversary podcast?
This is one of my moms. One of the 45.
I am. Because you are a baby and everybody wants to be your mom.
Yeah, for some reason. Okay, so this is a problem. This is actually becoming a problem at the moment, because there's been many people who, like, I've told people my age, and they've been like, "Oh my god, if I was a whore as a teenager, I could have been your mom." And I was like, why is that the first thing that everybody says to me?
I would never phrase it like that. I was like, if I would have started early,
that's fair.
I would say
like,
if I was a whore as a teenager, it's such a mean way to say it.
It is. But that's what,
Holy shit.
That's how like some people have told me. I was like, oh, that's fun. Now I have that image of you in my head, and I don't want that. Sam has
you were introducing me. What am I beside your mom?
Team leader, amazing human being.
Keep it coming. Flattery will get you everywhere.
You're doing great, son. Keep going.
I'm nervous. You're putting me on the spot.
Oh, do you want me to introduce myself?
Sure. Why not?
I can introduce myself. If I make you this nervous, it's fine.
I just don't want to disappoint
You're making us sweat, Sumi.
Oh, he doesn't want to disappoint me. That's so cute. No, it's fine. Yeah, like I'm Sumi, a horror content creator, mainly streamer on Twitch. I stream a lot of indie horror. I have not always streamed horror, actually. That came later on. That was like 3 years of my 5 years. Next year's my anniversary. of streaming. 5 years. That's half a decade. That's wild. And who else am I? Yes.
You didn't stream horror at first? How long did you not
No.
stream horror for? Ooh.
Like 2 years.
What?
I started streaming with The Sims actually. So I was a Sims content creator before I was a horror creator. On Instagram and Twitter. Like I would build stuff in The Sims. I didn't do gameplay. I have over 3K hours in The Sims. I won't touch that game anymore for recent turn of events because they were sold to some investors that I don't agree with. So I won't support them financially anymore. But it was a huge part of my life. Like I would spend days in The Sims building houses and restaurants and what nothing else, and just put them in a gallery for other people to play with. I never played with them myself, or not much. And then people would just see my screenshots and be like, I would love to see how you do this. Like, my cat wants out. I have to let her out as soon as I finish the thought.
Yeah.
I posted all of those pictures, and then people were like, I want to see the process. And I was like, I don't think streaming is for me. And then I tried it, and the fact that I kept on with it for 5 years is wild. But yeah, I was first The Sims. Then eventually I got a little bit bored of The Sims, and I was like, okay, I'm a cozy streamer. Did a lot of cozy games, no combat. Then I did some variety and made that was when I still did 3 stream days a week. So Mondays were cozy streams. Tuesdays were like action and adventure, like God of War and stuff like that. And Saturdays were horror streams. And the horror streams were always my favorite because they were, first of all, they were the most frequently visited ones. And I know it shouldn't matter, but it did because it's more fun if more people are talking to you. And then I was always joking around, like I should just go full-time horror because it's just fun. And then 2 friends of mine just were like, you are always joking about it. Can you just please do it? And I was like, yeah, I guess. And then I lost a lot of people who obviously were just there for the Sims stuff and were too scared to watch horror. But there was a big changing point, and it's like 3 years ago.
Do you remember what your first couple of games you were playing, like horror games that people were really getting engaged with?
Oh, no. But I do know the first horror game that I played was Song of Horror.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the first couple of streams, but eventually it just got so boring and I just finished it off stream. Because I wanted to know how it ends, but I didn't want to spend more time on stream with it. But the game that I personally think got the most engagement from my community, like not drawing new people in, that would have been like Outlast or The Mod Resistant, but the game that was like the most engagement in my chat was Life is Strange True Colors. Because and it was, my community was still so small when we played that. There were like maybe 11 viewers, which is a lot. I'm not saying that's nothing, but for me, that is not where I am right now. So there was quite a small stream for me still. But everybody was so immersed into this game, and I think we cried together, we laughed together, and it was also, with long story games, you have the trouble that you start and people are there for the beginning of the story, and then when they come back, they might have missed a stream, and then there's a chunk of the story missing, and then they get more quiet. And in that time, my community was still so small that the people who were there were almost there every stream, so they would not miss anything of the story. And that was so nice because everybody was like living through this story with me, and that was so fun.
That makes me feel so warm because that's like kind of how I described when I play Slay the Princess. It's like everyone in my community is there with me, and we're just like laughing and crying and having this great time together. And like you said, like there's a couple of like core people, there's core community members that are there every single time you play a game, especially a story game. And when they're there and they're engaged with you and they want to see, and there's I tell people who don't play narrative games to find one, get a recommendation of one that's really good, and try streaming it. If you're a streamer, try streaming it and see the kind of engagement you get, because I do feel like it's truly different than like anything else. It's true engagement. It's like everybody is locked there. We're like watching a movie together. We're watching character development. We're watching tragedy. We're watching hope, where it's a special moment when you play those kind of games with your core community members being there. It really is special. Do you
Yeah.
do you have like a narrative game that you said Life is Strange 2 was like that's your like core narrative game that
True
you felt
Colors.
like
It
true
was nice.
true
True
colors?
Colors. Yeah.
That made me cry so hard. I have played all of the Life is Strange games. I am in, besides from Life is Strange 2, I've played the first
Mhm.
2 chapters, but let me tell you,
I
Sumi,
couldn't
it's
get into
probably,
it.
I have a dead dad, so it really
Mm.
affected me. So those
Oh
kind of
yeah, I
games
get it.
really
Yeah.
get me. So even like Life is Strange Before the Storm, that one destroyed me because of that reason. But
Mm-hmm.
I love showing my community that other side of me. You see like the
Mm-hmm.
jump scare and the like,
Yeah.
the bibbity bop and the whatever, but then I have like the sensitive, like I'm really into this. These characters are my friends kind of version of me. And I think those are my favorite streams, and probably a
Mm.
reason why I like started trophy hunting too, because I wanted to spend as much time with those games as possible because of the way they made me feel and the way that my community loved to watch them. Um, so Life is Strange too. I would say that's say Life is Strange True Colors is a horror game in itself, because it is just the imagery
Emotionally.
is absolutely. Has any other game gotten you like that before? Like emotional?
I mean, me myself definitely, but on
Mm-hmm.
stream I struggle with story games. Like I
Mm-hmm.
wish I had this experience like you have it. Um like for me, longer story games always fall flat on stream after a while because of the reason that I said earlier. People miss a stream and then they come back and then they are kind of like losing interest because they don't have the entire context, and I'm just like I'm still invested in the game. What was it? What's the game? What's it with the where you play like this psychologist and you go through the horrors of his clients, and there's a cat you can pet that's sitting on your desk. What's it called?
What is this game? Does anyone know? A
Oh,
cat.
yeah, there's like a white cat. It's called Tanya, sitting on your desk, and you can pet it, and you can find like tapes and you can listen to music. But you walk through this dark world and kind of like work through the horrors that your patients went through. I'm so annoyed that I cannot think of the name right now. Um, but there
That
was such
sounds
a
really cool.
good it was a good game,
Order
but my
13?
community. Hmm?
Is it Order 13?
No, it's older than that.
Oh, okay.
Let me open my horror folder and just scroll while I tell you, and maybe I
Yeah.
will come across it. um so that was a really good story game that I really enjoyed, and I feel like that was the kind of the last game where my community really watch the entire thing with me, and I didn't have the feeling that everybody is getting quiet. And I was talking about that to friends that happens to me all the time when I play a longer horror game, and that's why I don't often play longer horror games, even though I do enjoy them very much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because people just go quiet. And I know lurkers are important and fun and they are pushing your numbers and then you get discovered more. But what
Mm-hmm.
fuels me in streaming is the talking. So if nobody talks to me, I feel like I may as well just stream off, play this game offline, because then I don't
Yeah.
have to like talk the whole time and just like keep people entertained, and I could just immerse myself alone into this story if nobody is experiencing it. And I'm not saying nobody is experiencing it with me. People are just more quiet, and I don't know that they're there because they aren't talking, which is valid. But it also In Sound Mind. It's called In Sound
In Sound
Mind.
Mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
This
Do I
is the
have? I
one.
feel like I have that game.
I feel like you would
I
enjoy
never
it
played
because
it.
the stories are really good, and it is like the elevated horror movies that we talked about. Like there's I think there's three patients. You play this guy who's a therapist, and he goes through horror worlds that are kind of like the fabric of what his patients told him, and it's like
Ooh.
taking this traumata of those people and turning it into a horror world. And I think that would be something that you would definitely enjoy. And I enjoyed
Check
playing
that
that
out.
on stream very much.
What do you consider
Another
a long
story.
horror game?
Sorry, what?
What do you consider a long horror game?
Everything that takes me more than 3 streams.
Okay. Okay. I was curious if it was like an 8-hour or like 16-hour. Like, what do you consider a
Yeah.
long horror game? Like Island Isolation to me would be like a long horror game.
Oh yeah, that's an enormous game. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But like Outlast 1 is probably like the limit of what I
That
would say
was
would be like a
fine.
shortish horror game. Yeah.
Yeah. But I play so many indie horrors that just like take 1 or 2 streams and then it's done. And that's for me ideal because I don't have the feeling that people stop watching. Another one that was really, I feel like thinking about it earlier on in my streaming, the story games did better because my community was smaller and the people that were there would just always be there, kind of. The Mists of Aden was another one that was. It took me only 1 stream, I think, or 2. But it's also very horror with a story, and that one also did well, I think. But then I tried to play Silent Hill 2, the remake. I had fun playing this game, but my streams were like half hour of nobody talking in chat, and I was like, I had to double check sometimes if I was still live.
Why?
And I was like, and I was making a big deal of it because Silent Hill was like my first Silent Hill game and all. And I feel like that should bring in some nerdies who really love the survival horror just to, I don't know, judge me, have fun with me, watch me experience it for the first time. But I did so badly. So that's why I played Silent Hill F offline just for myself because I was scared of this happening again.
That makes almost no sense to me because I catch your streams in the morning. So Saturday mornings, I go work out at like 8 o'clock. But before I do, Sumi streaming, and she's my pre-gym entertainment. And your streams are always bopping. You know, I usually am there during the just chatting segment, and the just chatting is always bopping. So I can't imagine that stream would go just silent during Silent Hill. You know, I couldn't imagine what, like, why do you think that they were just engaged, or like
I have no idea. I've never found it out. Like I don't know. That reset was short enough to fit it into 1 stream, but also very story heavy, and I feel like that was better. There was like people got the story from beginning to end, and everybody loved it. But I don't know what it was with Silent Hill. Maybe I took too long to finish it, so it dragged out over too many streams, and people got bored. I have no idea. But then again, you played like Slay the Princess in 1 million streams, and nobody got bored.
I think so. For me specifically, I think that where I shine is commentary and is talking. I am not good at games. I only started playing video games when I started on Twitch. I don't have the knowledge of like platforming, and the first time I played Little Nightmares, it was comical. I didn't know like foreground and background. I'm like, why am I falling through this? Why? Like, I'm not good at games. I am, I couldn't do it. But what I am good at is, talking my way through things, or making
Mhm.
jokes or commentating about what's going on. And I think because of that, I'm able to keep stories and games fresh, like Slay the Princess,
Yeah.
or The
The
Quarry,
quarry.
which
Yeah.
was 12 gruesome streams of, just because there's no back button, there's no chapter select. It's just, you fucked up. Well, I guess here's another 10 hours. That's what it was. But we can make this fun. We can do
Yeah.
things, so I think that is how I can keep people engaged. But Silent Hill 2, very similarly, was my first Silent Hill game as well.
Mhm.
And I was really excited to play it. And I mean, I love the story. I love the characters. I think like Pyramid Head is really cool. And I was super excited. I played it on easy. I started it on easy. And
Mhm.
it was so not easy. And I was getting so lost that at that point, you can tell, chat can tell, and I can tell on my face that I am not happy, that I am
Yeah.
bored, and I'm not into it. And when I'm not into it, the commentating goes down, the
Yeah.
energy goes down. I'm not myself, and I don't want to be that person for
Mhm.
anybody. Time
Yeah.
is the only thing that all of us have, and I'm very like happy when my friends are giving me their time. The least I can do is play something that is enjoyable. They're not
Mhm.
watching me, not enjoy myself. I wouldn't want to watch a streamer
Oh,
play
yeah.
something they're not enjoying. Like, I'll
You
go
can
over and watch
tell.
somebody else. You could
Yeah.
absolutely tell. But I'm
Mhm.
kind of like, that's weird, because yeah, Silent Hill 2, that was for me. I didn't complete it because I'm like, I don't like this. I'm really
Yeah.
not liking it, and it's really a shame. Um, at what point, Sumi, did you meet up with Tube and Monkey? Because when I first think about you, I think that you are Tubin's, from the beginning. My impression was, this is Tubin's right hand man. I actually only joined Twitter 2 weeks before Tubin put out the, hey, I'm starting a stream team called the CEOs of Screams. Who wants to be a part of it? Like,
Mhm.
literally, it was like 2 weeks into Twitter, and Rohara tagged me, and she was like, "Oh, my friend Ali, da da da." And then we, at that point, the CEOs of Screams, how it was formed was by recommendations and by Tube and Monkey, who was a partner, but with Sumi
Being
as,
super active as a mod.
yes. And I'm like, who is this person? So who is Sumi?
This
How
story
did I
will
even get
surprise
here?
you.
Yes, please. I'm so excited to. I've been dying to know this.
I have okay. Everybody in the CEOs who,
She's
especially the
pulling up.
ones who, everybody in the CEOs who has been, especially the ones who have been there from the start, see me kind of as I was always like the second founder, kind of, because I was such an active mod. When I tell you, I have watched 3 Tube and Monkey streams, then you would be like, huh? Like, Tubin and I don't know each other, really. Tubin put a tweet, like, we followed each other on Twitter. I think at this point I wasn't even following him on Twitch. And he put this tweet out and was like, I think it was right after he had hit partner or a little bit later. And he was talking about making a horror stream team, and was like, who would be interested, just like a charity focused horror stream team. Anybody would be down for that. And I was like, I would love that, because at that point I had already been in 2 stream teams. None of them were horror focused, and I didn't enjoy my time in either of them. Because I felt like I wasn't really part of the team. I just joined, and we didn't really have things in common. So it's like, I would love to be part of a horror team, because I know then I would have at least have like something to connect to the members in. But the problem is, at this point, all the existing horror stream teams were either Phasmophobia heavy or Dead by Daylight heavy. And nothing against those games. I just don't enjoy watching them. I'm bored to death when I watch people play this. And it's like you have to be a really, really entertaining person to me to make a stream with Phasmo or DBD interesting. We have a couple in the CEOs. My first stream that I watched of left click to hit, one of our newest CEO members, was a DBD stream, and he managed to keep me entertained while playing DBD. Same goes for Alpharoth, one of the new CEO babies, plays a lot of Phasmo, or did play a lot of Phasmo. My first stream watching him was Phasmo, and he kept me entertained. And that's the reason why I put both of those names on my list, because I'm like, they managed to drag me through these boring ass games without me dying and wanting to switch streams. So I was like, hey, Tubin, I would love to join a horror team, but all the horror teams that I have seen turn slowly into DBD or Phasmophobia teams, and I don't want to be part of a team like that, because then I would be the odd one out again. And he was like, no, totally get you. That's like, I definitely want more variety. And I was like, yeah, I would definitely be in. So I offered him, when he invited me, to be a mod, and he made clear from the start that there's no hierarchy. Like, he didn't really want to be a leader. He wanted like a team of equals, and he was just like the founder. And I was like, sure, I want to be a mod. But I had so much drive that I was like very present in the Discord. And I was like, I made the Discord channels, like the whole structure is basically still what I made in the beginning. And I just got, in the beginning, I would always still ask Tubin, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? And he was like, no, you can do it. And eventually I realized Tubin doesn't want to be in charge. He wants everybody to just do. So I just did. And that's why everybody thinks I was Tubin's right hand, when in reality, everybody could have been me. Like, everybody could have had that position if they would have stepped up. And then I was just this very active mod. And Tubin sent me a message and was like, hey, I'm currently not in a good spot. Could you take over the team for a little while? I know it's in good hands with you because you are much more active than me anyway. And I did that. And then there were people. I told people about, hey, I cried, first of all, when he asked me if I can take over. I cried because I was so honored that he thought that I could do that, even if it was just temporary. And I told people about this, and there were people who were like, I don't know, man. It sounds like that founder of the team just wants you to prepare everything, and then he comes back and has this perfectly organized team. And I was like, no, I don't believe that. I genuinely believe he trusts me and wants me to take charge while he's gone until he gets better. And if he gets better and comes back to a better team, then that's great for him. But then he didn't come back, and he's like, half a year later, I was like, hey, Sumi, I see what you're doing. You're doing really well. Do you want to take over? And I was like, is that even possible? I'm not a Twitch partner. How can I be the leader of a Twitch team?
Yeah.
And he was like, that's not a problem. I can just open a ticket with Twitch and transfer the team to you. So I have all the editing authority in my own Twitch. He can still only create 2, because partners can create 2 stream teams. The CEOs still block one of those slots, but technically it's my team. So I have the authority. I can delete it. I can add people. I can delete people. I can just erase the entire team if I would feel like it, which I don't. But that was wild to me that he could just give it to me like that. It took like 3 days or something, and then Twitch referred all the rights to me. So yeah, Tubin and I, we are on the same wavelength. We have the same vision for CEOs, but we don't know each other all that well.
That's insane to me. I like make up like things in my head of like what could be the side story of this.
You're like
and
the
that's definitely
besties.
not what it was. Yeah, besties, Tubin and Sume. And I mean, you're super active, and you've obviously like you know Discord. Like you know how to create a beautiful Discord. You know about like all those channels. Were you a mod in any other Discord beforehand? Like
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So
okay.
I had my own Discord. Before I had my singular Discord, the sunken mansion that I have now, that's like a locked up Discord. I was actually part of a Discord with like 6 to 7, it switched a little, admins. So we shared one Discord. It was called Shadford Hollow. It's, by the way, open. Everybody who's, especially if you're like into cozy gaming, Shadford Hollow is a really great Discord. But eventually my community got too big compared to the other 5 to 6 people who were in charge there. So they kind of overtook this space. And my community is very spicy. Like there's like a lot of kinky talk, and Shadford Hollow was nothing like that. It was like this wholesome, cozy gaming place, lots of Sims players in there. And I was like, my people are making jokes here that are definitely not right for this place. And I was like, I think I need my own space. They are too big. I need more freedom. I want a not safe for work channel, which, by the way, is now gone from my own Discord because people would post stuff that I did not like. But first, my not safe for work channel, when I made my own Discord, was so wholesome. People would share like spicy pictures of themselves, like not straight out porn, but like spicy erotic pictures, and then they would get a lot of praise from everyone, like, you look so good, and then everybody else would be like inspired by that to step up and also put like very nice pictures of them, and then they would hype each other up. So in the beginning, my not safe for work channel was really wholesome. But yeah, so I was an admin in that, and I had the same kind of drive in Chatford Hollow that I had in the CEOs. So I had some training, and I was a mod for the crypt community for a while, and only stepped down when I took over CEOs because I knew that I could not give crypt community my all and do the same for CEOs. So I had to switch to full-time only CEOs. And I'm still a crypt community member. I still love the crypt community and share everything that they do. I always say the crypt stream team is like a sibling team of the CEOs.
I was just gonna say the sister team of the CEOs. That's how I view it too.
Yeah,
100% too. And like you see like the cute beans like coming for the crypt community coming to your channel, and you're just like, oh, I can get so excited because you know that they're like all like good people too. It's nice to know, you know what I mean? That's like, first time chatter, I recognize your name from crypt community. Like nice. Like I know this person is cool, because like if they weren't, Kristen wouldn't let them in because Kristen's a fantastic judge.
Or Kristen would have like a very bad surprise, like we had in the CEOs before. Like Kristen and I talk actually a lot because we are both like leaders and sometimes share opinions. And if I'm unsure what to do about something, I will send her a message like, what would you do here? So we talk about this a lot. But sometimes being a leader, like when I took over CEOs, I only saw like the good things, like those are all cool horror streamers, and we can do stuff together, and we'll be this cool collective. And I remember when I first took over, I made this survey, this satisfaction survey, and somebody, I'm pretty sure I know who it was, but it was anonymous. But I'm pretty sure who it was. Said Tubin gave the team to somebody who isn't ready to lead. And I was so offended by that. I was really pissed off. It's like, how dare you? And now looking back, I was ready to lead, but I did have red rose colored glasses on because I did only see like the good parts. I did not think about one day I will have to throw somebody out because they are transphobic. One day I will have to throw somebody out because they sent jerk-off videos to somebody. Because you can only look into the front of their faces. You cannot look into their head. So that's the hard part. Like I feel like sometimes CEOs think that I'm just like, there was this concern that it's kind of like Big Brother and that we are observing everybody and they cannot say what they want and they have to walk on eggshells. And I'm like, do you guys think this is fun for me? Like sending these very, very annoying email to somebody and telling them, hey, I have to remove you from the team because you did this and this. This is so uncomfortable. I get sweaty, my heart pounds. I'm like, now I have to phrase this, and I have to phrase it in a way that it doesn't cause a shitstorm, and it could still cause a shitstorm if I make a wrong decision. I don't enjoy removing people from CEOs. And even if it's just like the people who have been kind of inactive and didn't do anything wrong, I will always send them a message like, hey, you are kind of blocking a spot for somebody who could potentially be more active. But if you at one point are able to be more active within the team, and we offer a wide variety of things that count as being active, then you can come back. That's fine with me. So I don't enjoy sending people the information that they are no longer part of the CEO. So I would rather just keep everyone.
Also, in my opinion, I feel like I've been in a lot of discords. This is my first stream team, but this I think that people have a misconception of what a stream team is. I think that a lot of stream teams are just Discord servers.
Yeah.
And you just have a title, right? The grave robbers, whatever, stream team. And you're just in the Discord and you could say hey once in a while, or you could participate, or you
You
could
can
not
meet people,
participate.
sure.
But
Yeah.
I'm still Allie, and I'm part of the grave robbers or whatever. But in the CEOs of Screams, you had a different vision when you took over the CEOs of Screams, and like no one would like know this unless you were a member, but those times that Tubin wasn't there but still the leader, it became just that. It became an active Discord where there was just, you can go in there if you want and say hello, you can do whatever you want, but there was no requirements, there was no nothing. We were for a little while we were very much a label because we weren't active, and it's very much due to like Tubin was absent for a little while and there was a transition, and when you took over you said, hey, I want to I this is a stream team, I want this to be a team, I want us to we're here for a reason, because we're all horror streamers who love this platform. If we're given this platform to share our love to each other, so why are we so distant? Let's fix that. I feel like that was that a part of your vision for CEOs for the revamp, to have everybody kind of just like get to know each other and be more of a team? And at that point, did you feel like you got a lot of backlash for having that vision?
A little bit. So like it was definitely part of my vision. Because I somehow there's this repulsive feeling in me that I hate when somebody just joins to have a label. And we had a lot of people who did apply to become a CEO and didn't make it the first turn. And then I see them joining like 20 other teams. That's an exaggeration because you can have only 5 teams. But I see them joining X amount of horror stream teams. And like, so it was never really about CEOs of streams. I just wanted to be part of a stream team, which is completely valid. Completely valid. I personally also don't care how many stream teams the CEOs are in. If a member of the CEOs has 4 other stream teams and has all the stream teams filled, I don't care, as long as they are active in CEOs. Because that's my requirement. If you want to be a part of the team, you have to be a part of the team. How that looks can be very different. You can I talked about this a lot in team meetings. Like, you can share a horror game that you just played that you think all the other CEOs should try, and I think that's the way that a lot of CEOs do it now. We have a couple of members who don't talk much in Discord, but when they played a really cool horror game, they will come and post it there, and that's enough for me. Like, that's like, you bring something to the table. Other members have value from you being there. And that's kind of what I want for everybody. Everybody should bring something that benefits everyone. So when I first talked about I want everybody to be active, and we implemented this rule like kind of like like a number of like 3 months, show yourself every 3 months. And people got so scared that they would every day just post a good morning gif. But that was not what this was about. I don't want your good morning gif. I want your participation in a team. I mean, I want your good morning gif as well. Just give post. give me your good morning gif. Give me your good morning gif, but also give me like a game recommendation. Take part in movie nights. You don't even have to be chatty. Just sit in there, say hi, watch the movie with others, and then piss off if you want. We have like, that's why I also did the member menu where we put like a long list of things that I would count as activity. Because then were people like, I rate a CEO like every stream. And like, listen, we are almost 90 people, and I try to log in many CEO streams, but I can't be in everybody's stream. So I have no way to monitor how many CEOs you raid and how many CEO streams you lurk, in how many chats you are active. So I have to do it in a way that I can actually see what you do. And there are so many ways to be active. Yes, I got a lot of backlash. I remember when we did the first satisfaction survey, loads of people were like, there are so many clicks, like small groups, which honestly, in a group of almost 90 people, it's impossible to not have small groups because there's always people who knew each other before, or they just have better chemistry. Like even I know as a leader, I know all of the CEOs. But even I, as a leader, of course, have people that I just click more with. That's just natural. You cannot turn it off. It's impossible to not have smaller groups within a big group. If it's a group of 90 people, there will be small groups. And then there was one of the main critiques. And then there was others saying, there are people in this team that I just don't know. I don't even know who's all in this team. So what I did when I took over is like we implement the you have to be active rule, and I made everyone redo their introduction. We deleted the old introduction channel and made a new one, because that way we could be sure that it is still like up to date. The links are still up to date. The information is still up to date, and everybody could have a look at who is actually part of this team. And there was somebody who left the team just because I required them to redo their introduction. They just did not want to introduce them to the team. And I'm like, and they actually had the audacity to blame it on being neurospicy. I'm like, I'm neurospicy. That has nothing to do with it. It's like on the neurodiverse spectrum. So they are like either autistic or have ADHD. And it's just like, that has nothing to do with it. I didn't say do it in this hour right now. I was like, do it within a week or something. Just pick a time where it's convenient for you to post this introduction. And they were so pissed off. And I don't get it to this day how this is a reason to leave a team. It was literally their words. I don't like this. Being forced to redo my introduction. I'm gonna leave the team. And then they did like raging tweets about being neurospicy and how I dare to ask people to introduce themselves. Like, if you join a tennis club, you will also have to tell them your name and who you are. You don't just join a team and then just be like, okay, I'm just gonna sit in this corner and I'm not gonna let anybody know that I'm even here. And it makes me so mad.
Yeah.
We have a ton of neurodivergent streamers.
Of course, like 50% at least.
At least. So, oh my gosh, I feel like, especially recently, one of the big things that we pride ourselves on is our inclusivity and making sure that we have, great representation on our team. I remember, just as a moderator, Kristen bringing up that, we should have more, diversity on our team, and it's so great because she's the leader of the crypt, so she could bring in like things that like she sees and knowledge that she knows into our team, and then vice versa for the crypt. So it's really nice to have that like second view. But it was actually one of the things I was thinking of asking you too, and you brought it up, is like I remember people getting upset over having to rewrite an introduction, and I just didn't understand why. Like I still just don't understand why that was such a big deal. Like,
and they didn't try to explain it even. They didn't even try to, but I'm open to hearing why this upset you. Just explain it to me. Try to make me understand why it is upsetting to you that you have to reintroduce yourself, but don't just rage quit the team and act like we did ask for the unspeakable thing of you. That's like I don't know. And then one thing that I did in the beginning was like when I took over loads, like a couple of people, like 10 people ish left the team when I took over, and I put this list up in the Discord to let people know who left the team. And then somebody got so upset about me putting this list of people up there. And I didn't put that list up there to like attack these people. They're no longer part of us. I put this list of people there so because lots of us don't use chatbots to do the automatic shoutouts. They would manually put in the name of a CEO and give them a shout out. So if somebody is no longer a CEO, they would have to go manually there and remove that name from the CEO shout outs. That's the only reason why I put this name list there. That's something that I learned. So every time now somebody leaves, unless it's somebody that I removed because they did something shitty, but if somebody decides to leave, like recently, Aves the Adventurer left the team, which I was like holding on so tightly to her.
We love you, Aves. We love you.
I love her so much.
You're a wholesome bean.
She said that it was actually not the first time she messaged me about it. She was like, I'm not really active. And I feel like I don't bring to the table what you need from the team. And she was right. But I also fucking loved her so much. And I was biased like that because she is just like so funny and I enjoy her so much. And I was like, no. I will give you some more time. You maybe you can find the time to be more active. And then she came back to me after a couple months and been like, I just can't be more active. It's impossible. Work is just taking all my energy. And I just was like, but I don't want to let you go. But then I had to remove her. Yeah, that was really tough for me. Like sometimes you have to remove people and then just like I wasn't that close to them. It's not a great message to send to somebody. But Aves was literally like the first friend that I made on his team, like the first person that I met on the team and then got friends with. So it's like, no, you stay.
When you get a message or a not a survey, but an anonymous. So what we do in CEOs too is if there's something that you see that you don't want to, you want to privately bring to Sumi, then you could fill out this form, that anonymous form that says like, hey, I saw this happening on Twitter, or there's been this story, and you can submit it anonymously. When there's been a couple of instances like that within the team where we have found out some shitty things about people. What is your process for possibly removing people like that? Do you take it upon yourself? Do you just hear it and you take it upon yourself to remove? Do you talk with a moderation team? What is your process for just not like hastily being like, oh, okay, I guess we'll just get rid of this person? Do you think about it for a while? Like, what is your process for that?
It's very individual. So there was one time where we had a member and we got an email, somebody talking shit about them, and I was like, I'm gonna investigate. And then that's always what I do. I just go to all their socials, have a look, and then if I see stuff that is bad, I will screenshot it. I have a folder with screenshots of tweets from people, so nobody can ever come to me and be like, you removed me with no reason. I can just send them 10 screenshots and be like, this is the reasons. So I will always make sure to not act prematurely. Like, I don't want to remove somebody. Like, when we found out that one of the CEOs, who was also in a moderator role, is transphobic, I, for a moment, kind of hoped they were hacked. I was like, I fucking hope that their Twitter was hacked, because I cannot believe that I let this person be in charge of anything in this team, because I feel like I know I couldn't have known and nobody knew, but I still feel responsible because it's my responsibility. I took this upon me, and therefore I have to also live with the shitty things that happen. So I was like, this person was on the modding team for so long, and potentially there were CEOs who knew that and were worried that I would agree with them, but they just never told me, so I couldn't have known. And I was so devastated, and I was just like, I really hope that they were hacked, which would be shitty for them, but it would at least mean that we wouldn't have been such a bad judge of character. Yeah, so I do take time to investigate, take screenshots, be sure that they did what people claim they did. Sometimes when it's like this transphobic case was an extreme for me, I removed her before I talked to any of the mods. Because if it's like we also had this other case where somebody was overstepping sexual and personal boundaries with people, where I talked to the mods first because there was no urgency. There was urgency, but it's not like he was actively doing something at that moment. But
he was not that person was not representing CEOs, where this other person who was a moderator was representing our team.
Yeah. And also I felt like it was more harmful what they were doing. So I was like, I spent my morning taking screenshots of everything, changing the password of all the socials, because they also had all the social. They could have just gone to our Twitter and spread this shit if they wanted to.
Oh,
so I don't think they would have done it, but just you have to make sure. So I changed all the passwords, made sure that they were removed, everyone, sent them a message with all the information why they were removed, and removed them. So they got the information. Then not too long ago, we had to remove somebody else for breaking TOS on Twitter in a very kind of brutal way, in my opinion. I had the same. Just like I saw a tweet that was kind of sassy for me, like 3 a.m. my time. I was like, you know what? This tweet is gonna be there tomorrow still. I'm just gonna go to bed. And when I woke up, I had a screenshot from a team member being like, hey, what's happening here? I was like, yeah, I know. That's gonna be my morning now, isn't it?
But and yeah, you mentioned like feeling like Big Brother, like people are like complaining that like, oh, we're Big Brother and we're watching them. It's not at all. We have really amazing team members who are watching out for our team all the time. We're all friends with each other on social media. If you post something, one of our 90 CEO members is going to see it and want to protect us. When they see something that they feel is dangerous and is harmful and against what the CEOs represent in our mission statement, they screenshot it and they will send it to us. We're not out here scrolling through Twitter looking for, people to bonk on the head. This is our team protecting our team. So like when it came to like Twitter stuff and people posting, horrible things on Twitter, I'm just like, just don't be a shit. Like, how hard is it to just not do that? To just not post that shit? With all of the changes that happened when you took over CEOs, you mentioned before that you went into this role kind of with like rose-colored glasses, high in adrenaline, excited, having all these visions. You're a very creative person. So I imagine that you had a million of these just like glitter attack, like just imagine all these, visions you saw for CEOs. Did that ever come to a point, did it ever come to a point where that sparkle kind of went away and you experienced a burnout where maybe you thought that this wasn't the right thing to do anymore, or like you didn't want to be a leader anymore? Did you experience any sort of burnout like that?
Yeah, definitely. I had a very rough 2025. Like, I lost my job at the end of 2024, which was such a fun job that I had previously changed my careers from a front-end developer to a social media manager, which arguably was a bad decision because you make much less money. It's much harder to find a job because everybody wants to do this shit. And I did it. I took a course of 8 weeks and got my certificate as a social media manager. And then I got this job and I was 9 months and I was so happy in that role and I enjoyed it so much. And then I lost it because he was a game developer. And all the games they had published that year flopped, and they couldn't afford having 2 social media manager anymore. And so they obviously removed me and kept the one that had 10 years experience, which makes complete sense economically. But since then, I haven't found a new job. So 2024 was like tough because of that, and it was affecting me, or is still affecting me. My mental health, it's affecting my content because I only stream once a week now because mentally I cannot do 2 streams anymore. I was less energetic on stream. I lost a friend because of that, because they couldn't deal with me being not the happy person that they know, which is kind of shitty in itself, but I don't want to get into that too much. So I was definitely like showing that I wasn't mentally well, and not everybody can deal with that. And then the CEOs were kind of like hard work because I have this drive, and both of you know that, and everybody who's in CEOs knows. If I have an idea, I have to do it right now. It's like I am so energetic and motivated to do this right now. And it's always, not only in CEOs, it's just generally a thing in my entire life. And that's how I started streaming. When I decided I'm gonna go start, streaming. I got into OBS. I made all my overlays, and when I started, I had like a professional setup. Everybody looked like I had been streaming for longer. So I'm always like, I have this spark, I have this drive, and I want to do this. But most of the things that I think about need more people than just me. And when other people don't bring the same spark and energy, it's always devastating. It's always like, oh no, I forgot that not everybody will be just as excited as I am. Why is not everybody as excited as I am? So yeah, in summer, June this year, and the mods of the team will know that, I was very unhappy with the state of the team because I had all these ideas when I took over what I wanted to achieve, and I just couldn't get there. I just felt like my best friend said when I told him about this, he's like, big ships turn slowly. It's like I had this gigantic ship, like this Titanic-esque team, and I had this idea, and I was trying to drive it with like a bicycle steering wheel. And I was like, it wasn't turning as fast as I wanted. It's like, I don't think I can continue this if this doesn't pick up. And I said to all the mods, there was like this little outburst of me. There was some friction between some mods. That like there were like 3 mods that had friction amongst each other, and 2 of them are no longer mods. So that problem solved itself. But I was like, guys, if you in this small mod team can't get along, how the fuck am I going to have like a 19 people team get along? if you don't pull yourself together, and if we don't get the team to the point that I want it to be until August, I'm gonna shut it down. I cannot have this on my plate. My plate is full. My spoons are like very limited. I have this drawer, and there are 3 spoons in there. And if we use these 3 spoons up, I'm done with this. Like, and then I think this message was kind of harsh and an outburst, and then I might have shocked some of the mods. But it worked, because then we did some reworks. We did this team meeting in June. Gothy Paya, I love you, made this really cool co-op forum that we have now, where people can talk about collabs. And I feel like the team, there's still people that treat it like the way it was when Tubin wasn't there and I wasn't the leader yet. That it's just this Discord community that you can come in every now and then, and not this team. There's still some people like that. And I'm not sure if we ever get them to be as active. But in generally, if you look at it, the percentage of active members is so much better now. Like, the team feels so much more like what I wanted the team to be. And then we did a satisfaction survey recently again. And I think it's okay when I say her name. Coin said she had tried to do collaborations before and it just never went anywhere. And then she just felt disconnected from the team. Because it's very, very, I feel I can totally see that if you're like looking for somebody to play with you and you don't even get a response. That's just like, and you try it 2 or maybe 3 times and never get a response, then it just stop. I would also definitely stop then. And I was like, hey, Coin, I saw your survey. Can we chat for a little bit? Because I had a call scheduled with her anyway about the charity work for CEOs. And then we talked about it, and it was so fruitful. Just being in this one-on-one call, and she told me like her problems and about the co-ops and that it didn't work out. It's like, okay, let me ask you something. Was that before summer? And she was like, yeah, it was before summer. And it's like, do me a favor and try one more time.
Mhm.
Because I feel like since summer this year, collaborations have picked up so much. Like, somebody would just say, hey, I want to play this game on this date. Does anybody have time? And they were like very unlikely pairings. Nurse Sass and Naldo, Resident Naldo, for example, do so much together now. They met on CEOs, I know that. But it was like a pairing that I wasn't expecting. Like, I'm pretty close to Nurse Sass. And Naldo is great, but we hadn't that much contact before. I did contact him when there was a big change in his life, because he shared his channel before with his ex-partner. And I was like, how is this going to continue? Do you still continue streaming? What's happening to your channel? Just so I know who is still part of CEOs. Like, and he was very grateful for getting the time that I gave him for that. Because that's like a ginormous change in your life if like the person you've been with for so long suddenly is no longer in your life. And he took his time, and now he's back, and he couldn't be more back. Like, he's participating in community games, he's doing stuff on collaboration streams, and we have a couple of people like that. I don't know if it's okay to call people out, but there was somebody who recently was like Mia for almost a year and basically didn't talk at all. So I sent him a message, and they told me why they went Mia, and now they are active again. They are showing their face in Discord again, and it just happens all the time. And I feel like every time I send somebody a message and ask them to be active, it either goes totally right, like they suddenly are back and they are blooming and they are realizing that I really care and that I notice that they aren't there, or it goes nowhere. And there are still a couple of people where it doesn't go nowhere, but I have hope. Like, I feel like there are still the people that are in the team right now, I want them to be in the team. So it's not like I'm like, this person I'd rather not have in the team. I want everybody who is right now in the CEOs to be in the CEOs. I just hope that everybody finds like the motivation and courage to be more active.
Well, I was thinking that of myself. Like, Naldo, he looks happy. Like
Mm.
he like came back from like a shitty situation, took the time, he came back, and like you said, like he couldn't be more active, and he looks happy, like he wants to be here. There's even
Yeah.
like him and Nurse Sass just created a brand new podcast. If you guys
Yeah.
follow them on socials and check out their new podcast on Hinge, like there's some really blooming friendships going on CEOs. I will say that I can't be more excited to be on this team during this era. Like I love seeing how this team developed and what you have done with it to make it so much of a team. And it has been since when you were like, I'm giving this one last chance. If it doesn't work out, I don't have it in me. When we were having that conversation, I'm kind of talking like meta, like I don't know because I'm a moderator. But when we were
Yeah.
having that conversation about that, I was thinking of people like Max, like Jugs, like uh Gothy, like people who always like who love this team, who spam at CEOs, who just absolutely love it. And if there's like six people like outside of that moderation team, there's like six people who are like diehard CEO fans and love being here. Let's try to make this work one more time for them, for that
Yeah.
like sparkle. And we, in my opinion, we got that out of most people now.
Yeah.
The collab forum, like I'll do it too. Gothy, I think has been a game changer for,
Yeah.
and I'll talk about for me too. I don't do too many collaborations. Like I just like never like did, and for me too, like reaching out to people that I don't know, sometimes is a little scary for I'm extroverted, but it's a little scary for me too. And I've for a while I've actually been wanting to play games with Jester because he's a huge Killer Clowns fan. I'm a huge Killer Clowns fan.
Yeah.
And New York City Gamer making that collab forum and being like, who wants to play? And both me and Sai being like, yeah, I want to play. And then we got to play together like finally, and we had really good like game chemistry, and we got to teach Gamer how to play. And like that's not something that I would have ever done if we didn't have that collab forum. And it's
Yeah.
so neat, like it's so tidy, it's so like it's easily accessible, like I truly think it is a game changer of the CEO Discord. That, and I also think that a game changer too is you and Kristen making all of these graphics, because let's just face it, we're no one let's not be humble for a second. We all like a little recognition, right? We
Mm-hmm.
like when we see our name on Twitter getting like added and being like, look, it's me, and like retweeted stuff, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And for a while, because I'm awful at social media, like I would retweet people when they are going live or their schedules, but I wasn't like making any graphics, I wasn't doing any of that stuff. I
Yeah.
actually
There was
like
no
don't
original
really know to.
content.
There's no original content. I'm not a very creative person. I didn't even think of it. And then Kristen came one day and was just like, hey, can I start making you pre-made stuff for you to
Mm.
put out? And I'm like, absolutely. And then you joined in making all of these special announcements, co-op streams, recognizing I love, my favorite thing that you do for social media for the CEOs is I love the CEO stories. I
Me
think that is
too. I need
I think
more.
that has really, and to all like CEOs, like even if like you have already a CEO story out, if there's anything that
Yeah,
also
I
is
can do
extra that you want to
more.
put out, like absolutely. But that has gotten so much chat. If there is something that you specifically do on your stream, or like for me, like Sumi asked me to answer a couple questions about me being an achievement hunter, or we have a ton of develop game developers on our team. I would have no idea that they were game developers, or some people only stream for charity. And like, there's so getting to know people through those CEO stories is really wonderful. And
Yeah.
I think that that's probably like my favorite kind of idea that you've had with like introducing team members too, because it puts like a little like the spin on their personality. I would have no idea about all
Yeah.
these if it wasn't for that. So I think that having all of those, the different graphics in this on social media forums, and people seeing like, hey, maybe I'm not super active in the Discord, but the CEOs are highlighting me either way. That feels nice. Like, and I think that has made people come in more and be more
I
engaged.
hope so, because that was really my idea. Because we have to face that different activity levels are normal. Like, not everybody is like juggernaut, like, or like me, it's like super active. Like, even Max, who is like a fire and flame for the team, but it's not like
Not because you have red hair.
constant. It's not, but Max is not like the super talky person. Like, he doesn't. You can see it here right now. Like, he's sitting there
That's
giggling for himself.
big. Just shut up.
But Max is not like a not necessarily a yapper, I would say, but still loves the team. And I feel like I was looking hydrate. PC redeemed hydrate. Cheers.
Cheers.
We have to consider that not everybody is the same activity. Juggernaut, I feel like is a kindred spirit to me. Is a yapper, talks a lot in Discord, never shuts up really. But not everybody is like that. So I was like, I always ask people to be more active, and I offer them already a lot to be more active. But this could be another way for me to be like, hey, you are not super active in Discord, but I know you do this special thing. Do you want to talk about that? And I'm trying to get all the CEOs into the stories. And I remember when I went to Nurse Sass, because Nurse Sass, like the name, is really a nurse. So I was like sending her a message like, hey, Sass, what about a story about doing horror content as a person in the medical field? And he was like, oh no, I knew you would come to me at one point. And I was like, I got you. And it's just another way for me. If somebody if somebody has a CEO story on our Instagram or generally our socials, I will just let them alone for a couple of months for not being super active in Discord, because they did something for content that benefits all of us. Like, if there's content on the socials, it benefits every single member of the CEOs, because we get more visibility, and potentially somebody is like, oh, the CEOs of Screams, they are cool. What kind of members do they have? Hey, this Max guy with the red hair, he's really cute. I want to watch his horror streams. And I feel like that's just a way for people to participate and do something for the team, and also just to highlight what these people bring to the table. And because I say this every single time we do a team meeting, all of you are here because either Tubin or I saw something in you. Nobody gets into their team without me or him approving. So the fact that you're here means that we think you bring something to the table. No matter if you are like super quiet, if you're small. If you look at my list of people that I have right now on in my sheets, every time I come across a horror streamer that I think is interesting, I just put their name into that list. And I don't give a fuck if they have 5 viewers or if they are a partnered streamer with like 80 to 300 viewers. I just want them to be special. And sometimes special streamers haven't been found yet. So they have only 5 viewers, 3 viewers. And nobody knows that they are there. But I see them and I want them on my... I jokingly said to Pissy, I think, my modern friend, I was like, CEOs by now is, for me, Pokemon. Like, I want to catch them all. I want to have the most diverse team. Like, I found a horror streamer.
Squirtle.
I found a horror streamer from France. She's French, but streams in English. That is so rare on Twitch. And I was like, she is French, she speaks English, and she streams horror. I need this person on the CEOs just to have the varieties. Like, I want to catch them all. I want somebody of each each category.
If somebody wanted to join the CEOs of Screams, because normally how we meet new members of CEOs is like once or twice a year we used to put out an application and you would apply, and then the moderators and yourself would go through the applications. And let me tell you, we go through them very thoroughly. Like, we go into every single one's page, watch clips. Like, I know that if they're on live, I will watch them and I'll just lurk for a little while to see, like, how they are in chat and stuff. Like, so if there's somebody who wanted to be on the CEOs of Screams, what do you look for in a potential new member? What do they have to bring? Something special. What do they have to bring to the table to be considered as a member?
Yeah.
For membership.
These applications were always a lot of work because the CEOs, not to toot our own horn, but I kind of think we can toot our own horn, are a very loved stream team. Like, we opened the applications the last time for like 24 hours and had 200 applications. And we have to review all of them, which is why we haven't done open applications for a while now, because it's so much fucking work. We do get a lot of emails still from people who are like, hey, what do I have to do to get into your team? Rain, who is one of the new baby CEOs, actually sent me a message and I was like, hey, I just was in the stream of Creepy Pastero and I saw that you have this really cool stream team and I would love to join. And I was like, sorry, Rain, we don't have applications open right now. But when when Kristen brought up, our team is super wide. We are white as a sheet. We need a little bit more variety. And I was like, damn.
That's how people describe me.
I was looking through our member list and I was like, damn, she's right. Like, we had a couple of people of color leave the team. Somebody was made leave. And they were thinning out the people of color in our team. I was like, yeah, we are so freaking white. And if somebody would like to join this team and looks at the team members and sees they are all white, they might think that's deliberately so. And I don't want anybody to come like a black person or an Asian person or any person of color to go to the team and look at them and it's like, oh shit, they are all white. Nobody looks like me. I guess they don't want me. So then when Kristen brought it up, I was like, hey, there was this guy, Rain, who was really fun, had a great branding, great like on-screen presence, but I told him that we are not currently taking members. And then I sent a message and I was like, hey, Rain, you sent us a message a couple of weeks ago for wanting to join CEOs, and now we are kind of looking for adding new people in September. Are you still interested? And Rain was like, heck yeah! But usually what I look at is I look for a spark and I look for somebody who takes it serious to a certain amount. Like, I don't want gamers who, like, if somebody, for example, that's just a matter of taste, but I personally don't like people who instantly start streaming without a starting soon. May it be just 2 minutes of a starting soon screen. It just gives people time to adjust, people to get in chat, and then it's just a little level of professionalism. It doesn't have to be technically perfect. Like, if they have panels, graphics that don't look great, but you can see that they tried their best, that's still more than somebody who just has. There was applications. There was one application once where every single panel was about getting money. There was a subscribe panel. There was a donate panel. There was everything that was in those panels was like, this is a way for you to give me money. There was not an about me text. You could not learn anything about this person by looking at their panels. And I'm like, why? Just at least tell me your name. And so yeah, I look at the panels. I look at the on-screen presence, like do they interact with chat? Do they talk even if nobody is there? Do they put in effort? Like, because if I see they don't put in any effort, I don't want to see a gamer with an open mouth staring at a video game. They can do that offline. They don't need to. They don't need to do that. They don't need to do that on stream. So yeah, I want to see that they can put in effort, because if they can put in effort into their streams, they can put in effort into the team. And if I see they don't even put in effort into their streams, why would I have them on my team? Because then they are not willing to put in effort into anything.
As a moderator, reviewing applications, there are two for sure ways for me to say no on your application. The first thing is that if I go to your stream and you have no clips, there is no reason that you should have no clips. If you have no clips, then it's kind of a little bit of like the effort thing. Like there's kind of no effort.
You can go back and clip your own shit. If nobody does it, I get it. It's annoying, but you can do it yourself.
Like, do you not want your content to come out? If you don't want like people to see your content, then like why do you want to be on a stream team? If you're not participating and even like making your stream look, kind of like your personality, then you're not going to have stream team participation. And the second thing that will automatically make me say no, and this is just a me thing, is on the application we will have like, why did you join Twitch? And it will say, because I want to be partner and I want to make money.
Yeah.
And I think that's dick. And that's your own journey. That's cool. Like if that's the reason why, totally. Like that's the reason why. I don't want somebody like that on our team, because it's a very selfish answer to be like, I want to be partner, I want to make money. And like there has been people who were on our team who are no longer on our team that we had to remove, and we've both had experiences with this person saying to us, I thought that this team was going to make me more popular, make my stream more bop, and CEOs hasn't done anything for me.
Yeah. And dude, you are not talking ever. Like this person, I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about, was also complaining about that there are so many clicks, but they literally didn't say a fucking word in the Discord. How are people don't even know you exist, man. Just to say hi every now. Like don't they were bitching about that nobody from the CEOs comes to their streams. Dude, nobody knows that you exist because you don't show yourself. Like it's not a support for support. It's not a follow for follow, sub for sub, supports for support thing. It's just people don't know you are there.
Also, this is a voluntary thing, right? I am volunteering my time to go on your Twitch channel. If I don't know you, you don't support me, I don't know anything about you, and like, yeah, I don't know you exist, then how am I supposed to gain this, like, wow, how am I supposed to want to go and hang out with you? And as far as like the click things happen, like when I heard that, I almost like selfishly went like, they're talking about me, because I get along with so many people. Like I very much like my superpower is making friends. And I have made friends with most CEOs, and I love that about myself, and I love that about other people too. And when like I hear like, oh, there's clicks or like certain people getting retweeted and stuff, I'm like, it's not that I have a click. It's just that so many of the friends that I've made through my 4 years of being a horror streamer are here. This has been years of development of friendship. It's not that I have a clique. I truly have a family here, and you are welcome to join it and be just as active, but you have to give yourself the foot in first. Just be like, hey, I want to play Left 4 Dead 2. Does anyone want to play? Just do a little something first, and then others will come. You have to give a little to get a little. You
Yeah,
know?
you cannot complain that nobody in the room is talking to you if you are standing in a hallway. Just come into the fucking room, man.
Yeah.
If somebody applies for CEO, and I know the answer of this, but I want to ask it anyway. If somebody applies for CEOs and doesn't get in, are they welcome to apply again? And what do you
Always.
think they need always? So what do you think they would need to do? I guess it's on an individual. I don't know if you could like answer this question. Like if you saw someone and said no and then saw them again, like let's use the redhead in the room. All right, Max. Hi, Max. Max applied to be a CEO of Screams, I think the second round, and Max didn't get in. And I remember at the time, the comments were that the last time Max streamed was, I think, 4 weeks ago. And I think it was like this podcast that Max wasn't as active streaming and in horror. And I remember, because I'm Max's biffle, I remember Max being like, I'm gonna get it next time, and I'm gonna this is what I want. I want to be on this team and I'm going to change. And Max, I feel like I'm calling you out, but this is an example of somebody who was like, who took I want to say rejection. That's such a harsh word, but the no to be on the team and was like, all right, this is what I need to do for next time and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I remember him applying the next time and him being like the second most voted person on the team. I wept. I cried so hard because I was like, it's just a lovely thing to say. Like it was just
like he just
Max
didn't give up and try it again. Yeah.
He didn't give up.
And then
He
people wanted him there.
People want. I mean, he's such a great, community member.
Yeah, and that's what we do. So we have this application sheet. So everybody who fills out the application gets automatically put into this sheet, this Google sheet, and then we have a little note field at the end where we take notes for the people why we think they should join, but also the reasons why rather not. So recently, when we did the Crypt community raid train, the person who was modding in the staff at that moment sent me a DM because of something from the raid train, and then they were like, "Hey, I actually did apply to the CEOs before under a different name, but I was like super small back then." And I was like, I look at his profile, I was like, no way that we would have declined this person if they would apply right now. So they must have come so far since then. Things change. Like you can always work on things. And I don't want to say that too loud, but if we open applications and you didn't make it in and you know a moderator, you can ask what the notes are and then work on that. I don't say that too loud because I don't want 200 people to send us messages and ask like why did I
exclusive here, everyone? You heard
like we have done that before. We have done that before, that somebody would ask like, hey, I didn't make it on a team, and they knew a moderator or a CEO, and they asked me, hey, like, why did this person not get in? And I gave them these notes because the notes are nothing secret. They are just like, we don't learn enough about their panel, about them in their panels. They have all their VODs and clips only visible for subscribers. Like, how am we to judge your content? They don't talk enough. Their mic quality is bad, so there's nothing secret in there, unless they are on we have a blacklist of people that some of our members would not want into the team, and we have to put our team first. So if there's somebody that you don't like, they don't have to be a bad person, but if you have friction with somebody within the team, then the person within the team comes first, and you cannot make it into the team. It's just easy. But usually the notes are just like technical things that you can work on, and then you can apply again. Yeah.
Max, how did you feel that second time applying for CEOs? Because there was no bitterness
Yeah.
like when you got the note that first time. You literally took the notes that were given to you and you absolutely excelled. So when the application came around the second time, like what was going through your head?
I was scared as hell, if not gonna lie. I was like, I really hope I did enough this time. And then apparently I did a lot more than enough, so that was great. And now
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. And that was also a note that I gave to everybody that sent like emails asking, "Hey, how do I get part of a team?" I would be like, "Hey, we don't have applications open. We will usually announce it on our socials, so keep an eye on our socials. But until then, here are the things that we look for. Like we look for a strong brand or somebody who has a lot of potential for the future to develop a strong brand. We look for people who are very open to make friends. So I would advise you to meet as many CEOs as possible, which Max clearly did because everybody wanted Max in the team by the time he applied the second time. So everybody knew him and everybody was like, that's a really nice guy and we want him on our team. So that was definitely a point that I gave to everyone. It's like, be friends, like meet as many CEOs as you can.
You mentioned
Uh,
earlier before that that you look for a sparkle, like a sort of
yeah,
spark
yeah.
in people. And the two CEOs that when I think of you looking for a spark, one of them is Max, because I do think that Max does represent that spark and that like unity and that love for CEOs. The fact that I know I'm just going on about, look, Max my best friend and I love him,
We
and I'm
love
so
Max.
happy that I can be on this
It's
team
your
with
3-year
people that I love
anniversary of
so
this
much.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get to talk about you
And
as
the other
well.
person that I think of when it comes to a spark is NYC Gamer.
Yes.
Because when he got onto the team, he wasn't necessarily like super active in streaming, but he had something special in him
Yes.
that you were like, I want him on this team. What did you see in NYC Gamer and that you were just like, hey, you need to be on this team?
Okay, so there's multiple things. New York City Gamer in the satisfaction survey asked, "How can I be more supportive to this team?" And when we did the team meeting recently, I did reply to a couple of things that were said in the survey, and I was like, "You literally cannot be more." Like,
Mhm.
you can work on yourself, you can make your streams better, you can look to work on your stream quality, but you cannot be a better member of the CEOs of Screams because he tries to be everywhere. I see him everywhere. He is probably the person who did the most collaborations with all the CEOs. He struggles with the technical side of things. Like he didn't know how to open a post in the collaboration forum, but he takes directions. So if I tell him ask Gothy, she will show you how to do it because that's her task. He asks Gothy and will do so. If he has a special event scheduled and asks me like, can you make a poster? And it's like, yeah, I can make the poster, but if you want the event scheduled, you have to ask Kristen because we have. I was smart eventually and realized that I cannot do it all myself, and I delegated tasks. So and New York City Gamer, while having trouble with tech sometimes, puts so much love into their team. And initially, when he applied, my bestie Memela was still a member in the Discord. She was not a CEO, but she was a moderator on CEOs. So have somebody that's like impartial. And she was so down for having New York City Gamer on the team as well, because she's like it's just so cool to have somebody who is like, let's face it, he does a lot to for our diversity as well. He's a trans man. He's in his 60s. Like he raises our age. He helps us to not just be babies. He's a trans man. We want to have the representation of people, and he's just like we are just like writing a song about New York City game, and he doesn't even know how loved he is. Like he asks how he can be a better CEO of Screams, and there's literally no way. There's no way for
He's
him
so
to do any
loved.
better. Yeah.
And he's patient and he's so kind, like, and he like, I don't know, but he has that
Yeah.
what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like, he's
And
absolutely
he's not
wonderful.
a gigantic streamer. Like that's what I said earlier. It's just like I don't care if you have like 10 viewers or 100 viewers. If you show me that you want to be a CEO and you do it so well, and what can I ask more for as a leader of this team?
Do you think
He's
that
so
do you
supportive
think
and
that
great.
the CEOs would continue to uh I know we get a lot of recommendations for new members,
Mhm.
and the last couple of times that we have gotten new baby CEOs, it was through recommendations. Do you think in the future, maybe if it was like a 2026 draft, do you think they would go by recommendation, or do you think we would open up applications like we did at the beginning?
I'm actually thinking about it because I do, as I said, I have this sheet where I put names down, but I also don't want people to think that I only invite my friends. The new
Mhm.
baby CEOs, people might have, because I was in contact with them like a month before we invited them. But people might think that were all my friends, and I just invite my friends and make a stream team that's based on my friends. But I knew like barely any one of those. Like before we started looking for people, before Kristen raised the topic of we are being not diverse enough, I knew none of those people.
Mhm.
So we just had this little Discord thread where everybody would just slap in all the people of color horror streamers that they knew. And I did go through them and be like, this one is cool, this one isn't right there yet. But it was recommendations mainly. I am actually thinking about if we should open the apps again in summer for like 24 hours. Just like tell people like a week before, like next week we will open them for 24 hours so they have time to prepare mentally, and nobody can complain that they didn't have enough time, because 24 hours is a very short time. But we have to remember that we have to review all of them. And with us being so well known by now, it's
Mhm.
just gonna be so much again. And I cannot just expect that all the mods are down to review these members, and some might not have time. So we have to have like a short window of applications. And I would definitely want to encourage people of minorities to apply, because I feel like we could do a little bit more for the trans community. We are pretty queer. We have a lot of bisexuals and gay people in the team, but when it comes to gender, we could be a little bit more diverse, I feel like. Time zone coverage is also always a big topic. It's gotten much better. For a long time, Naldo was the last person to stream because he streams very late, but he often couldn't rate out to anybody because we didn't have any CEO streaming in the time zone right after Naldo, which is like European morning or Australian evening, which is why
Mhm.
I got a lot of Europeans and Australians into the team. So Naldo would actually have people to rate into. Because for me, my dream is you can always go to the CEOs of Screams team page and there's always somebody online.
Yeah.
That is something. And so when we open the applications again, I want to definitely encourage people and make it clear that people of all ethnicities, all genders, and all sexualities are very, very much not only welcome but encouraged to apply to the team.
Absolutely. And the second last draft that we did, because the last two that we did were from recommendations, and the second to last one was specifically we were looking for those time zone coverage,
Mhm.
the Australian and European time zone coverage. This last draft we were looking for more people of color, and I know that the last probably year I've gotten questions of when's applications becoming
Mm.
open, and I, 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 you said it, so I'm gonna say it now to toot our own horn. But I truly think that CEOs is one of the best stream teams on this platform. I think that we are top three horror stream teams, and I think that our love and dedication within the last year especially has made our popularity grow exponentially. Where do we I mean, we have gotten, you know, so many indie developers contact us with wanting to, give like Steam keys. We had that
Mm-hmm.
wonderful game developer did a raffle of Dead Reset that Live Zombie, won and was like
Yeah.
fantastic. Like that was amazing. We're having collaborations with other stream teams, like the Femmes the Fog, and I truly think that CEOs is one of the top rising teams, and people are asking for applications. I think
Yeah.
we had 200. What was it like with it like 24 hours the last time?
Yeah.
um yeah,
I'm
I
so scared
definitely.
that's why I'm so scared to open the applications again, because it's gonna be so much
Mhm,
work to go through. Because we want to do a good job, right? We don't want to just
mhm,
have them apply and then nobody really looks at their profile. I want to at least like spend 15 minutes on each of their profiles and be like
yeah.
thoroughly looking through clips, look at everything, and I want to be fair to everyone. But opening it and like getting like 200 applications within 24 hours, and this time probably more, that's gonna be a lot of work for us.
It's gonna be a lot of work, but like you said before, we can't just like show that we're just like kind of like cherry picking,
Hmm.
people, which we were not cherry picking. There is absolute reason, and we give care to
Yeah.
every single time, like person potentially for membership. I think that there is an excitement in applying for the team.
Hmm.
Um, I think that people are waiting
Yeah.
for this next round, and even if it's like next September, like having someone open, having someone open, having an application open for 24 hours, even if we do get 200
Yeah.
applications. We've done it before. I think
Yeah.
our moderation team is really good, and we also have team members who are like head of our like development departments that we just have created within
Yes.
CEOs, which is kind of a breakdown of, we took some of our new baby CEOs, mixed them in with senior CEOs, and created these departments where each moderator is ahead of them, and we can, it's kind of like a little chat and have any questions. It's not as many people to talk to if you get overwhelmed. I think the people who there's some moderators. There are some people who are not moderators who are head of those departments
Mm.
that are, I feel, are very trusted, CEO members, that
Yeah.
if we needed extra hands to review these applications,
Hmm.
I'm sure they can take be non-biased and help us out with those as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But I do think that I know that people are waiting, they're itching, and they want at least their time to like that excitement, you know what I mean, to apply
Hmm.
for CEOs. So I
Yeah.
think that would be beneficial for us in the future. It doesn't need to be an immediate thing, but I do think having
Yeah.
applications open is something that would be good for us
Hmm.
again.
Yeah. So we have like, I don't know, 14, 15 slots still open, because people who don't know, I want to cap the team at 100 people, because I want, one thing that's very important to me personally as a leader is that I know all of them. Like there
Mhm.
are definitely CEOs that I cannot watch all that much because they go live at like 3 in the morning for me.
Yeah.
But I still want to, like the level that it is right now, I know all the CEOs. I have been in definitely everybody's streams at least once, even if it was like the weirdest time in the morning for me. Um, and I know that like 100 is a lot already, and I don't think if we make the team much bigger than 100, if we like 2 or 3 over, I don't really care. But like, for example, if we have 100 members now and then somebody of the old ones comes back and is like, hey, I'm more active now, can I come back? I will definitely say, yeah, sure, come back. Then we are 101 team members. I don't give a fuck. It's more like a cap that I want to assure that I can be there for people. And so we will maybe add like 3 to 4 members in December, because for the batch that we added in September, there was one person who would have loved to join the team, but at that time would not have been able to dedicate the activity that we require. So I was like, I'm just going to ask you again in September. And so to not let that person join alone and not be the only baby CEO that comes in, I would add like 1 or 2 people that we invite. But for the next time in summer, when we really want to add a bigger batch, I am definitely thinking about opening the applications again.
But keeping it at a cap at 100 is good, because when there's too many people, it becomes less special, less intimate.
Yeah.
You'll probably find that you don't know everybody. I mean, you will because you're the leader, but maybe like somebody else that we all have gotten to know each other throughout the last few years of having the stream team.
There are still people who have trouble already at the size that we are right now to know everybody, and I totally get that, but it's important that at least I know all of you.
I've been thinking about this the last couple of days, because I saw that the developer of that game, Super Normal, just revamped himself again and is coming out with a new game. And my mind is kind of blown by like the audacity of this dude. Like, how many revamps of yourself do you need? Just trying to disguise himself. And I wanted to ask your opinion. If you saw a CEO Scream member playing one of his games, what is your opinion on that? Would you judge? Would you think that's a bad thing to do? It's such a hard question, but I'm so curious about what you would do if you saw Max the Grim Reaper playing this guy's new game live on stage. Max is like, don't put me into this. I didn't ask for this.
I don't like that I'm the example most of the time.
That is so tough, because everybody has a different threshold and a different boundary what is okay. I know Jeff Brutorek, for example, is very outspoken about AI usage in games, and many indie devs opt for that now because it's just cheap and easy. So there's like AI voice acting, there's AI music, there's AI art. And AI can be very harmful depending on where you take it from, because musicians get stolen their music, artists get stolen their art. And there's, for example, a game that was very popular is Who's at the Door, which heavily relies on AI in some aspects, like voice acting. And Jeff, you wouldn't catch him dead playing games like that. I personally don't like it. Whenever I play a game with AI voices, I will comment on that. And I have talked about this on my stream so much, and I say every single time, nobody needs to use AI voices in the game. There's no argument for it except for it's fast, because it being cheap cannot be an argument, because I know for a fact, alone in the CEOs, there are so many who would do it for free and give your characters in your game a voice. And yes, they are not professional, but neither is AI. If all of your characters sound like robots, I don't think that's any better than the characters sounding like somebody who is not really a professional voice actor, but at least they sound alive. So everybody has a different boundary, what is right and wrong to play. I have my own boundaries. If somebody would apply and they play a lot of horror, but also one of their main games would be Hogwarts Legacy, I would not let them into the team. That's just my own personal boundary. I don't want to anybody who plays this game actively and promotes it. I don't want that. If somebody would play this game of this guy who has rebranded like 3 times now and tries to disguise himself, I would give them the benefit of the doubt. I would be like, maybe they don't know, because so like the tweets that he does, they pop off. The trailers always look good, and you never know that this is like really some kind of slop that's behind there. So I don't blame anybody seeing this trailer that he published there of that new game and being like, hey, that looks so cool. I'm going to wishlist that and I'm going to follow them on Twitter. And then maybe never realizing that it is this person. Or so nobody who would play this game, I would be like, you supporting this transphobic asshole guy. Because you don't know. You might not know. Maybe... And then, but for Hogwarts Legacy, for example, that's such a big thing. I don't think anybody in the content creator space doesn't know who J.K. Rowling is. And I feel like it's very hard to not know what's problematic about her. For an indie dev, that's much easier to miss. I feel like that's much easier to just come across a trailer, wishlist it, get a game gifted. There are so many ways to get like an indie game. So I would probably not make it a big deal if a CEO would play that game. I would kind of like stuck up my nose, to be honest. I would be like, I don't like that. But I wouldn't kick somebody from the team for playing that game.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. I'd probably be like, oh, okay, that's a choice. But like, it's at the end of the day, like, I guess it's like a game. I can't tell you. I don't want to be that person. Like, imagine like kicking somebody out because they played kicking somebody out of a horror team because they played a horror game. But yeah. I definitely would give a little like smirk. And I didn't know. Wait, I saw the Super Normal trailer and I was like, that looks
cool. It looks so good.
I had no idea about anything that was going on. I learned so much from former CEO Van because, you know, they were involved with this person who, you know, betrayed them. And, you know, they gave us like such good context about like the background and stuff and what was going on with him. But I went into a friend's stream, not a CEO, but just a friend, and they were playing Super Normal. And he was like, oh, this is so good. Have you played it? And I was like, no. Have you read about it? And he was like, yeah, but you can't let that deter you from, you know, playing something that looks good.
You can.
And I'm just like, you can. But I you know what I mean? Like, I make my own decisions.
Living completely judge-free is impossible. Like, even if you like buy groceries from problematic brands, like I make it a point not to buy anything from Nestle because they private water, and just like there's a lot of problematic things. But we are all not free from buying something that might be problematic around one corner that like you don't even know. But there's like, if you know, for example, as I said earlier, I will never buy a single Sims expansion again, even though I have 3,000 hours in this game and have a lot of love and a lot of fond memories about this game. I know who the investors are that they sold EA to, so I will not play a single EA game ever again. And if you actively know and still decide to do it, you are being lazy. You are being a lazy fuck. When Hogwarts Legacy came out, the Sims community was so loud about avoiding this game, boycotting this game, pirating this game, not supporting this game, not streaming this game, not talking about this game. Now, The Sims is owned by very questionable people. It was very well known. Everybody talked about it in the Sims community. And yet, big streamers, big content creators like Lil Simsy, Deligracy, all Sims content creators who make it their living. I know this is your living, but I also know little Simsy, that you are a fucking millionaire. And if you decide today to never stream The Sims again and make it a big point and say, this is my boundaries, I will not support this financially anymore, you will be okay. You have a lot of cash on your register. Your community is big enough. They fucking love you. They adore you. They would do anything for you. And if you today decide, I will never stream The Sims again, and I pick this game, or I will play a variety of games now, you will still thrive. And you cannot tell me you cannot give this up because, yeah, it's kind of problematic, but oh, guys, it's my life, it's my livelihood. Yeah, I know, but stand for fucking something. Like she was like a very political person and talked about a lot of issues. But then when it comes to making the step, which is a hard step, I know, like it's really tough for me that I know now that I will never play a new Sims extension ever again. But sometimes you just have to make the choices, or otherwise just live with you being lazy.
So that streamer was like money over everything, money over morals, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's weird because she was somebody who was the opposite before. She was very well known about talking about queer issues and just like standing up for people. But at the moment where it means she would have to lose something, suddenly she cannot be this loud anymore. And it's like kind of
shitty,
performative.
right?
It's kind of performative then.
It is. It's not like you. It's like when I meet friends in real life that I've met on Twitch. The first one of the first things they always say to me is they're like, "Oh, you're the same. I was so nervous that you would be different," and I kind of like really like I like pride myself on that because I'm not performative. Like I don't want to like I can't be anything other than who I am, and it sucks when you see like one of your favorite streamers choose kind of like be performative and choose kind of shitty things over what really matters, you know? So I imagine that hurt, and that was like that really sucked. When I first went onto Twitch, not went onto Twitch, but when I was first learned about it and I was watching it, I never played any games, and I'm like, okay, what game is like a spooky game with horror characters that I can totally get into video games? Dead by Daylight, right? So I was like, okay, I'll teach myself Dead by Daylight. And I watched a streamer, very popular streamer, named Angry Pug. And I watched him play Dead by Daylight. All he did was play Dead by Daylight. He streamed Dead by Daylight to 5,000 plus people every single day, and he streamed twice a day. I remember I watched him every day, and he would say, man, I wish I could play something else. He's like, I want to play Warzone, guys, but then you guys won't show up. Like he would always say things like this, and he would be miserable. And within the last, I'm going to say year and a half, that streamer has, I didn't see the inception of this or hear the inception of this, but I guess he said, you know, what means more to me is having fun and maybe not having millions of he's a millionaire, having millions of dollars, having 5,000 plus people on my stream at a time to play and enjoy the career that I chose. So now he streams Warzone and the things that he likes to stream to 300 people. Yeah. But he's never looked happier. But he's not obviously making that money that he made anymore. And I really admire
scary. It's very scary. Like even for like that's like a big streamer. He definitely has enough money in the bank. He will be fine. But even for me, when I decided to no longer stream Sims, it was scary. It's not only scary without a reason, it is scary with a good reason. Like you stop a game that everybody knows you for, your average viewers are cut in half easily. And if you live from like if this is your livelihood, but you are not at the stage just like this is like you're a millionaire, so it doesn't really matter anymore. But if it's like you're a normal person, you make enough to live from it. But if you just cut your viewership in half, you lose a lot and you can no longer live from it, then it makes sense to me. Then I understand. That's something, this person, there I understand the struggle. But if like a big millionaire streamer is like, I'm gonna lose so much, but dude, you are already a millionaire. How much more money do you want to have? It's like,
Your brain chemistry changes when you're that rich. It's no
yeah.
longer, you don't think like we do anymore. You know what I mean? You're just like, how do I keep this status? How do I keep making more? I can't imagine having that mindset, but maybe when you're there, you can't
Mhm.
you can't not be there anymore. I
Yeah.
guess.
And
I
I
don't
get
know.
it.
I don't
Like
understand it.
we have on the CEO's members. Like I know Elder Guzi talks about it. She got, I think she got, maybe I'm like talking out of my ass, but she got partnered, I think, when she played a lot of 7 Days to Die. And so eventually she was just not enjoying the game anymore and played different games, and her viewership declined. And that is so disheartening because you feel like those people are just there for the game. They aren't really there for you, and that's a hard realization. Like there are people that are there for you for sure. Like I watch people like I've watched you play Slay the Princess so much, so you would think I have an idea what's going on in that game. Like you are also very good at like summarizing what's going on, like what happened last stream, how you get to this ending now. And still, even though you explain it all the time, I have no fucking clue what happens in Slay the Princess because I am only there for you. But you have to be realistic and know that not everybody is like that. I don't know why anybody would tune into a Dead by Daylight stream just for the game because I cannot relate in the slightest. But there are people like that, and that's just a harsh realization and very sad.
So would you say that if somebody were to apply for CEOs and they are a Dead by Daylight streamer or a Phasmophobia streamer, that there is no way to get in?
Oh no, definitely not. It's just harder. It's just harder for you. And I'm honest here. Like if you are streaming only DBD or only Phasmo, it is harder for you to get into your team. You have to be more special. That sounds like such a dick move, but if it's true, like if you play Phasmo, you have to have an outstanding personality. If I tune into your stream and you are playing Phasmo and you are not 100% fun for me to watch, then I will just be this asshole and just not get you into the team because I do not enjoy your game and you are not special enough to be on the team. And it's so mean, but I have to be honest here. Like if you play those games that are so oversaturated, especially DBD, I have a plugin installed now in my browser because I was looking. That's a little story here. Every morning when I wake up, I go into the horror category to check if somebody is relevant for CEOs because it is still the time slot where we have the least people streaming. I have now a plugin in my browser that removes all DBD streams from the horror category because it's so overcrowded. And that's just because since the category is so overcrowded, you have to be very special for me to think that you still should be a CEO. As I said, in the last batch that we got, we added Alpha Roth and left click for hit. One of them streams a lot of DBD. One of them did play a lot of Phasmophobia, but they were so fun and entertaining to me that I was like, yeah, I still want them to be CEOs. But yes, you definitely have a harder time to get onto the team if you play only those two games. And I apologize to everybody who is just disattached to the game. Then CEOs is maybe not your team. There are DBD teams, there are Phasmophobia teams. Maybe they are just the better teams for you then.
I feel like a good example of that, and it's not Phasmophobia or Dead by Daylight, but there's Resident Evil games, and
Mhm.
there are some streamers out there that only play Resident Evil games, and that can, I mean, there's a lot of Resident Evil games, but when you're just doing that like over and over again, like it kind of becomes like redundant and just kind of maybe not for you. But if you have somebody like we have a member, Evil Cherry Berry,
Yes.
who took that and said, how can I put my own spin on it? And what she does is she uses bots, she uses randomizers, she does a lot of subathons where it's, unlocks different things you could do within the game. I don't think, and I'm not a Phasmophobia or a Dead by Daylight streamer, but if you can have something special like that that says I don't just play Phasmophobia. I have things where I'm like, okay, chat, I'm making stuff up. Chat picks the ghost, or there's randomizers on here now, or we're doing an only expert challenge for this day. If I do this, I will,
Mhm.
something that makes you stand out, that you're not just playing this game over and over
Yeah.
and over again.
And we
You
we
know.
had examples of that. Ghost Kai, when he does
Mm-hmm.
Phasmophobia, he makes it very educational. He always acts like the people in his chat have no idea what he's playing. So he will explain for new people to come in. So if I go to his stream and Kai is playing Phas, I can actually follow what's happening because I have only played Phasmophobia once. But he makes it so educational that I can follow, and I think that's something interesting. So I learn something when I watch his streams. We had a former member, Dax. They are no longer a CEO, but they also played only Phasmophobia. But they were such a fun person, and they did so well with explaining what they're doing that it will still be interesting. There's also somebody who's not a CEO, who the founder of Indie Horror Network and the Nightmare Network, two other really cool stream teams. Shana, I think is her name. She plays only Phasmophobia, and Cooper Charms. They are like besties.
Yep.
And they both play a lot of Phasmo, but they make it interesting somehow. And
Yes.
it's so hard to stand out in those categories, but they do it.
Yes. You you were talking about rebranding yourself from a Sims player to a
Mhm.
horror streamer, and then this year you also had a kind of rebrand. Oh, Captain, my Captain, where you have dropped the Captain Sumi and you have
Mhm.
changed your name to. Am I saying this right? Is it Sumi Me?
Yeah, Sumimi. So you can just
Sumi
still call me
Me.
Sumi, but it's Sumimi, yeah.
Mhm.
Super cute. Max and I were talking because we were like, both of our pirates are now rebranded because we've got
Yeah,
Project
true.
Fitz, right? Who
Mhm.
is no longer a pirate, who's the pixelated horror, which I think is so cool. I love that idea. And I love
Yeah.
his like profile picture. Super cute. Um, but I noticed that this is 2025 is the year of the name change. We have Sue
Mhm.
Mimi, we have Live Zombie. We have,
I
Carl
love
mentioned to
Liv's
me a
new
while ago.
name.
I love Liv's name too.
I
We had
love
her on
it.
as a guest a few months ago, and I didn't even register to be like Live Zombie, Rob Zombie. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool. Um, but so many friends are changing their names on Twitch. What made you want to change from Captain Sumi? Because your whole like your graphics are the Kraken, like you're very sea themed. Tell me about
Mhm.
the transition from Captain to no Captain.
Mhm. So when I picked the name Captain Sumi, it was actually not only about pirates. So I was watching the show Black Sails, so I was very into pirate stuff at the time, but I also always loved science fiction. So you can also be a captain on a spaceship, right? So my theme has always been space, even when I was still a Sims streamer. Uh,
Streamer
It
streamer.
was my community were the space kittens. My mascot was like a little cat in a space suit, so it was always space themed. And when I started streaming, I was Sumi builds because it was still like the only building Sims
Bills?
build, like
Oh,
building. And then I changed eventually to Captain Sumi, which I used before, but not for my streaming. So the captain was like kind of like the pirate theme and like the sci-fi theme. It's just like this little nerdy touch. But back then I wanted a name that I could use on all platforms, and I wanted the name to be exactly the same on every single platform. And CPTN_Sumi was available on every platform. Before I was actually Captain Sumi, like the full word captain. But the CPTN was available on our platforms, and I was like, yes, I want this name that's on every platform the same. So nobody would ever have struggled finding me on any platform. And I still think this is really cool. And I don't have that anymore now. So I'm now either Sumimi or Sumimi TTV for Twitch TV. Because there's so many reasons. So first of all, I wanted the Sumi part to be in the beginning. Because people sometimes opted for captain, and while I don't mind being Captain Sumi, I did not really enjoy to be called captain because I was Sumi. I'm just like, captain's just my title. Call me by my name. And then I wanted a short name. That's something that I told Liv when Liv went to Liv Zombie. I was like, that's a partner name. There's a name when
100%.
Like when you become partner, you get a chance to change your name if the person who has your name is willing to give it up. Twitch is going to help you get this name. It's possible that this person says, no, I will keep this name. But if it's like an inactive account, for example, they will just give you the name. If it is an active account, they will ask the person if they would be willing to give it up. If they are not willing up, they won't give it to you. When Liv Zombie changed her name to Liv Zombie, I was like, girl, that's a partner name. That's perfect. If you ever become a partner, you don't have to change it anymore because there's no underscores, there's no weird numbers. It's just like a short and sweet name that everybody will remember. It's possible that somebody will write zombie with an IE because her name is written with just an I, but I think it's even better because it's shorter. So yeah, I wanted a short name. I wanted no underscore because I was CPTN Sumi. Then eventually I changed it to CPTN Sumi without the underscore. And that was actually available everywhere but Twitter, which I wasn't using at the time. So I couldn't care less that CPTN Sumi without the underscore wasn't available there. And then eventually I was like, I still want the Sumi to be in front. I don't want any numbers. And I was like, I want it to either be so short that it can just be a name on its own, rather a name than a title, or I wanted a name last name combination, like Liv Zombie, for example. I think that's really cool because you have a first name and a last name. So I had like a couple of Sumi variations where like Sumi was the beginning. I was brainstorming. I was constantly writing down all the names. So I was like, Sumi Might, Sumi Necro something. It was just like it was all the first name, last names, and then Sumimi was just like short and sweet, and it's so easy to say. And I know, like I tested this a couple of months now, so if I go to new chats now, people will still say Sumi, and that's just exactly what I wanted. I wanted people to opt for Sumi. Some people call me Sumimi, and then I would just say, just Sumi is fine. And I was like, I guess Sumi, okay. But most people will instantly go for just saying Sumi. And that's exactly what I wanted. And I wanted it to be short and sweet and no special characters. And I think that's all my reasoning behind that.
How did Sue me? How did you come up with that? Like, are you just like, sue me? Like, it was just like came to you, or like,
it's like, how do I make it as short as possible, but keep Sumi in there? Like, if I don't want to add a last name to it, because last names sounded often cool, but still made the name very long. So I was like, so what I could do is just add another syllable at the end. So I was just going through syllables and just like adding Sumi Ma, Sumi Ni, Sumi Li, and just like putting lots of syllables at the end, and just looked what sounded the best.
I think it worked really well too, because at the time of you changing from Captain Sumi to Sumi Me, you also got really into pixel art.
Oh yeah, that
And
was shortly before.
Sumi Me almost sounds like it could be like a pixel art like streamer name, like, or like something that's like, because tiny little like kind of like Sumi Me and like tiny little like artwork. I thought that like I honestly thought that was a whole part of the
Aw.
kind of like rebrand that you were doing, because it worked so well with the name and then
Mhm.
the pixel art. And I was just like, oh, that's so cute. I love it so much. And then like it was weird. And then like at the end you were like, again, like I'm just thinking about pixels in my head, and you were at the time loving the game mouthwashing. So it was
Mhm.
just like this whole like thing in one. I'm like, is Sumi becoming like a pixel girl? Like I'm just like, oh, this is so cool.
That
Would
was
you say
actually
that?
just a hyper focus. The pixel art, I haven't done pixel art in a couple of months again. It's like my ADHD hyper focus hobby that was very, very much apparent for a couple of weeks or months, and then now it's gone again. But if I feel like I can pixel something, then I will pixel something, but the hyper focus is gone. Um, Sue you, sue me. Actually, I did. That's how I explain people how
So
to
you,
say sue
so
me.
me. I love this.
um,
I do it all that Sumi.
I do love pixel art though. So the midnight scenes horror games that are like pixelated horror games, I love them. I'm just so fascinated with how just a couple of little boxes can be put into a picture, and like how sometimes one dot, just like one little pixel, can make a difference. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah, like pixel art is still very beautiful to look at for me, but when I picked my name, that was not really a reasoning. My last rebrand, however, like the color rebrand, when I went neon pink and neon green, that was actually game related, because I played Sorry We're Closed, that neon
Yeah.
Silent Hill clone, and that logo and the color scheme of that game were so beautiful to me. And I was like, I want that. So I literally color picked the green and the pink and slightly changed it a little bit in Photoshop. And I was like, those are the colors, and this will be my inspiration to make my new logo. And that's what I base it all on. Like just these two colors. I was like, I need a branding with those colors. So it's the neon green and the neon pink. It has to be in everything now.
Speaking of like color schemes, you recently decided that you were going to change the color scheme of like the CEO's kind of like logo, like
Mhm.
rebrand the website. You could see it in our background for our social media. When I first saw it, I immediately thought, I'm like, Sumi is a huge Fears to Fathom fan.
Yeah,
This
I
color
am.
scheme is Fears to Fathom. Did you at
Except
all
for
think
there's no
about that?
pink. So yeah, when we were talking about rebranding the logo, I was looking at game logos for CEOs. We still have the same logo. I just switched the color. But I was thinking about giving CEOs of streams a new logo, and I wanted it to be more simple because we have this scratch font, and scratch fonts are like these very like kind of handwritten, but like written with a claw basically, and they
Yeah.
are like very very common in the horror streamer space. The CEO's font of the logo is used in so many horror streamers places, and like I kind of want something that is not that. And the Fears to Fathom logo was one of the inspirations back then when we were thinking about that. um but then we just didn't really do a new logo, and I was like, okay, now the red and black is fun. It's very clear what it is about. Everybody will know, oh, red and black and scratch font, oh, that's horror. Which is a good thing in its own, but also kind of boring. So it's like, what other colors are very common, or like not common but less common, but still matching horror. So I was actually scrolling through my letterbox and looking at horror movie posters. And I was like, which colors are there? Like lots of black and red in horror movies as well. So I was
Yeah.
like, so we can either go with a classic theme, everybody will recognize instantly that we are about horror, or we go a little bit more creative and try to stand out color-wise, but it is less recognizable. And then I saw that there was a lot of like very aggressive, poisonous yellow and green. And I was like, I like this. So I went to a color picker theme website where I was like, I also found this picture, like this house, this mansion in the mist, and this blue in the background was so nice, and it went so well with the neon yellow. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick this color, and then we are going to look which other colors works well with it. Because the CEOs was actually not only black and red, there was also a gold color that we used on the website a lot, like this golden brownish. And I liked it back then when I made the website in the first place when we just had started CEOs, but I got so sick of this gold brownish color, but I wanted more colors. But yeah, Fears to Fathom were not a direct inspiration. But the Fears to Fathom goes into the direction that I wanted to go. So for me, it was more like movie posters, but Fears to Fathom seems to have like the same vision for horror, not looking too boring and like the same-ish.
I think the new color scheme does two things really well. One, I think it makes everything look more professional. I think
Mhm.
just everything just goes well together. Not saying that the black and the red did, but it's so like it's so obvious, right? Like black and red is the color of like horror, evil, or whatever, you know. But
Mhm.
this color scheme with that background that you chose is like really like uniform, and it goes really well with what we are. So yes, it's more than just horror, right? When I look at the second thing this does well is when I look at that color scheme and when I look at the background that you chose, indie horror pops to my head. Like when I said like
Mhm.
Fears to Fathom, yes, Fears to Fathom does like automatically like that, but also like indie horror. We are a horror streaming team, and I'm going to say that probably most of us, if not all of us, at some point stream indie horror. We also
Mhm.
want to promote indie horror developers. We want people to see us and want us to play their games. Like we want to support, all these upcoming small horror games that, I mean, some of the most amazing horror games that have come out in the last few years are not AAA games. And I
Yeah,
think that
definitely.
having that like banner and that new logo kind of like to me screams indie horror. And I
Mhm.
really like that. I really like
Yeah,
that
I'm
indie
glad. I'm
brand.
glad that it has this. And it was not necessarily what I had in mind when I was thinking about it, but I do enjoy that it gives this idea to you that this what the first thing that you think about. It's a good thing. That's a great thing actually, and yeah, I'm very pleased with like the color scheme, and it's still horror, but it's more fresh.
It is. It's crisp.
Yeah.
It's just very uniform put together. What you think it's crisp, Max?
What
What
are we talking about?
do you
I wasn't paying attention. I'm
what do
so
you think,
sorry.
Max? Is the worst of the new one. Of the new CEO color scheme and logo. Well, the logo hasn't changed, but you know how it's like the kind of like the yellows and blues. Like, what do you think of that?
I think it's
Does that
great.
shout indie horror to you? You think it's
Yeah.
great?
Yeah. I like it a lot more than the black and red for sure. It took a
Hmm.
little bit to get used to for me personally, but then like when I like kept like seeing it and I was like, okay, yeah, I like this a lot more actually cuz a lot of the discords that I'm in, they have like a darker like profile picture. So seeing like a brighter like color, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I want to go to this discord more than others. And I already want to go there more anyway, but like, it does help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's like I kind of just took the leap there. I didn't ask anybody for their opinion there. I was like,
Mhm.
sometimes I just have to act like the boss and just do whatever I want. And I just like was like, okay, I'm just gonna change the color scheme, and nobody else will have a decision to in that.
Honestly, you deserve it to just go and make executive decisions because I see a lot of what you go through because I'm a moderator, and there'll be times where, first of all, I've seen all like the shit that people have given to you, and
Mhm.
you just like be there. I can never be a leader because I see there is a special person that could be a leader, and you are one of them. The way that you take like criticism and negativity and just turn it and be like, okay, what do I do? This is what I'm gonna do. Or even like you'll write something and you'll post it in mod chat and you'll say, hey, does this sound correct? Do we have an issue? Does this sound okay to post? And when I read what you write, just the things that you say, I would never think of. Like, I would never be able to handle the situations that you handle. I would cry so bad and then
I
just
cry
be
all
like,
the
I'm done.
time.
I, like like, I don't know how you do it, Sumi.
Yeah,
You've done
me neither.
you have taken coal and turned it into a diamond. And
Ah, that's sweet.
I really hope that, and I'm sure that our members see just what a fantastic job that you have done taking over the CEOs of streams and turning it into an actual team. We don't have a lot of actual teams on Twitch. Sure, you can be in a Discord and you can say the Discord is for team blah 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 and just have that label. But is it really a team? Is it really active? Most of the time it's not. It's just an empty Discord. And that is anything but what CEOs is
Mhm.
anymore. It is a place where people can go and like collab and watch movies and have so many opportunities at their fingertips. I bet you all the CEOs don't know every single part of the Discord that they can utilize. There's
Yeah.
so much in there. Not only like collabs, but we have like indie developers that are in there that want us to like play their games and give us codes. Like I think that's like a really, really like amazing thing too. Like
Mm.
it's just I couldn't be more happy to be a
Yeah.
part of this team. And right now the CEOs are just like 10 out of 10. And
Mm.
every day I wake up and I'm so happy to be a part of this team. I really
Okay.
truly am. This
Yeah.
last year, did you what would you recommend like a horror game that you have played in the last year that has really like impacted you? I have seen you love and play mouthwashing, doing you
Mhm.
had an amazing cosplay of Anya. I mean like amazing with the even the background you put in your picture. I'm like, holy shit, you need to play Anya in the movie. Was that like like maybe if you want to? I know that's a rough role. Would would you recommend that as one of your favorite games that like that you have played within the last year or so?
Yeah, mouthwashing was definitely my favorite horror game last year. Before that, it was Bramble the Mountain King. I have like one
Oh,
favorite game a year. This year, I have been doing a really really bad job with like keeping up with like games that came out this year, which is really shitty because I am in the jury of the Horror Game Awards, so I have to catch up on a lot of horror games so I can give a fair rating. I have played Silent Hill F, which is not indie horror, which I really enjoyed though. Silent Hill F actually managed something to do that not many games get me to do, and it made me replay it instantly. So
wow.
even games that have multiple endings, usually I don't play for all the endings. Usually I play one ending and then that's just my ending and then the game is over. I'm not the person who has to play for all the endings. Silent Hill F actually made me finish the game and then I repicked it up like the next day or the day after. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play this again. Hi, Grimmy.
So you seem
Um,
to really like it. You really
yeah,
liked
I
Silent Hill
enjoy
F.
it.
Why do you
Uh,
think other people aren't enjoying it?
I have no, maybe because they just have like this very specific idea and don't want things to change. It's like when the new music comes out. Like if you are like a fan of a band and they bring a new album and it's just different than the one that you heard before, and then people will just talk shit about a new album, which I think is not fair because the artists are still people, right? And they develop and they change and they maybe don't want to make the same album over and over again. And yes, maybe this album is not for you this time, and that's fine, but that's not a reason for you to trash talk it. Because they will be other people who might find this band because of this album. For me, that was, for example, Glass Animals. I loved the first two albums of the Glass Animals, and then they brought another album, the one that had Heat Waves. And I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it as much. But that album was actually what made Glass Animals pop off. That was the time when everybody found the Glass Animals. And then the album after that, I really loved again. So I'm like, this album was just not made for me. It was just made for the people who enjoy it. And that's the same with everything. That's the same with games. That's the same with movies. I mean, sometimes a movie sequel is just shit. It's not like, hey, they tried something new and it's not for you. But Silent Hill F, I think, was just not made for the people who wanted to have the exact same copy of a game again. The combat is shit. I'm not telling anybody like Silent Hill F has glorious combat. The combat is stupid, fucking boring and annoying. The camera is annoying sometimes in those fights if you lock onto an opponent. But the story is so fun. It is so nice to have a story place that is not placed in America, but in the Japan of the 60s. And it's a very feminist game, which is also probably what a lot of people hate. The leading person is one of the most hated groups in humanity, teenage girls. People fucking hate teenage girls, which is problematic at itself. So that's the reason for people to shit on the game. People just being too attached to the original idea of Silent Hill. People just being too attached to not have it in a different place. I don't know. There's lots of reasons why people would not enjoy it. But I feel like if you are open-minded and you want to actually have something fresh with just a like good character design, like the fights were shit, but the opponents, the design is so good, and all of them make so much sense. Like, you cannot really describe why these monsters look the way they look without spoiling the content of this game. But every single monster design, if you think about it, after playing the game at least once, probably 4 times, because every time you play this, there will be new cutscenes and like a little bit more information about the story. So they don't only have like 4 different, they have 5 endings, but the 5th ending is a joke ending. But every single ending adds more to the story and more knowledge to the story, but there's also more cutscenes. They will give you more information and you will understand more. It's a very feminist story. And I think people have a lot of problems with that.
I've been watching videos and shorts on Silent Hill F because I didn't plan on playing it. But after like hearing you talk about it, honestly, right now, I think I might put it on my wish list. But I've been watching a bunch of shorts on it, and I'm like, this story sounds really fucking cool. And that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, this is very feminist. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like this badass, girl trying to avoid A, B, and C. I'm like, that sounds cool. And then the fact that they have multiple endings is like right up my alley. Like that sparks my interest. But also, I really like the design of the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Like
they're
this red
really
flowers
looking.
and like
Yeah, just really just
flesh.
flesh and red, and I'm really into that look. But I'm wondering, like, as I'm watching all of these shorts on Silent Hill F, I'm wondering how is it a Silent Hill game? Do you know that answer?
Yeah, so this Silent Hill, I have not played Silent Hill all that much, right? I know a lot about it just from like informing myself, but I have played a little bit of Silent Hill 2 Remake and Silent Hill F. Finished it twice now. So I might be talking out of my ass, but Silent Hill is always about trauma, like what happens inside your head, like dark things that you experience or that you think about, like intrusive thoughts in a way, and just like materializing those dark, twisted things that are very human. In Silent Hill F, the protagonist Hinako, who is actually not that badass. Like she has like, I mean, she's fighting for her life, but she's still just a teenage girl and like between 13 and 15 who's fighting everything with a metal pipe.
Oh wow,
So
that young?
yeah, she's like a teenage girl. And she's just going through shit. Like her father's an alcoholic, her mom doesn't stand up to him. At least that's what she thinks in the beginning. And then they are in a lot of depths. That's something that you learn early on, but you don't really know in the beginning what the big issue is. Like, why is she rebelling this hard? Except, I mean, sure, she's rebelling because her dad is an alcoholic who abuses her, and her mom is not standing up to him and just like kind of even forbidding you to stand up against him. But there's much more to it all. And so, yeah, Silent Hill in that way that all the dark things in her life get materialized in these monsters and in this world. That's what I mean. Like if you know the story, there's like this one monster. It's like a woman on her back, and it has like lots of bellies, like that look like pregnancy bellies, but also like titties, and it's just like it's very, very disturbing. But if you think about the story in the background, it all makes sense. Why does it look like this? There's a creature that behaves kind of like a dog, and it has like this long tongue, and if it catches you, it licks your face, and it also has like kind of like a big belly that looks like a pregnancy belly, but at the same time, it looks like it behaves and looks like a dog, and that also all comes together so well once you understand what the story is really about.
How long would you say a playthrough would be?
Let me actually check. I have played it twice now, and let me tell you, I played on easy puzzles, easy everything.
Yes.
I just wanted to experience this game. I don't want to get stuck on puzzles for hours on end. So I played 30 hours, and that's 2 playthroughs.
So it's kind of like a Resident Evil kind of standard.
Yeah, like one of the Resident Evil remakes, like 15 hours ish. I think Sad Boy said.
Shitty.
Yeah.
Sad Boy
said he has like, I think it took him 17 for the first one, but he also didn't play it on easy. So he took a little longer, but played the harder game. Shitty. Yeah, the first of all, they implemented something that wasn't a part of Silent Hill before. Weapons break. So you pick up weapons, and they break after time. You can fix them with toolkits, so you can carry like 3 weapons at a time. Later on, there's a 4th weapon that will be added in a second playthrough that we will carry always, but it can also break depending on what you choose to do in the game. So that's something that's an issue, the weapon breaking over time that many people don't enjoy. I personally would also prefer just having just a metal pipe, and I don't need all the other weapons as long as it doesn't break. Then it's kind of like, it has a dodging system. So if you don't play on easy, you definitely have to dodge at the right time, which is actually the reason why New York City Gamer gave his key away to the CEOs, because he pre-ordered the game and then watched a couple of people play and realized it has like Dark Souls elements. Like, it's not really a Souls game, but the fights with like big bosses can feel like it, because it's a big boss you have to dodge at the right time, and just like So I understand why that would turn you off if you are scared to play like Souls-esque games. And it's just like very repetitive, and there's not much. You don't learn much new things over time. You have to look at like 3 different bars. There's like an insanity bar, which honestly I didn't
God.
really like. I played on easy. I didn't really care for the sanity bar. I didn't have any problems. I didn't even skill it up all that much. But there's a sanity bar, there's a stamina bar, and there's a health bar. So there's a lot of things to keep track on, and items that you have to consume to keep them balanced. I just feel like they didn't put in a lot of effort into developing the combat in the game, but it's also not the focus point. So, but for a game where the combat isn't the focus point, there's too much combat. So that's a problem that I would understand when somebody has this critique.
Okay, and that would deter somebody away, which is a shame
Mhm.
because it seems that the story is really rich, and which
Mhm.
is something in Silent Hill that's also been a thing, like Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
Like we both haven't really played it, but we know that it's a very rich and developed story. So at
Mhm.
least this Silent Hill F is, you know, they keep that element of like, hey, we're still gonna have an awesome story.
Mhm.
Um, as we come to the end of the podcast, I want to
Crazy three
ask
hours.
you, crazy three. See, doesn't it go by just so quick when you're just chit chatting with your besties? Um, what horror game are you? My fucking accent. Horror game are you looking forward
Horror.
to? Horror game are you looking forward to the most coming up?
Can I say 2?
Absolutely.
So there's one game that is Who Are You? Which is the developer is a friend of mine actually. I met him because of the game. And I've been like following the development of this game for so long now, from like just started and then they redid everything and everything looks different, and now they're doing everything from scratch once again, and I will actually be a voice in the game. So I hope so, because I have actually had like 3 games where I was supposed to be a voice and then never heard back of them again. So yeah, Who Are You is one of them. And then the other one is something Paradox. It is a horror game with aliens,
Ooh.
and it's called Echo Paradox, maybe?
Yeah. That's the
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Yeah. That's yeah, the Echo Paradox. That's the one. I played the demo of that and shat myself. I was screaming, I was weeping. I was like, I want that. So yeah.
Oh,
Eh,
I have some homework to do though after the stream now. Fucking play the demo for Echo Paradox because I would also like to shit myself being scared. Glutton for punishment over here. Always looking for the scariest games to
oh, I
play.
just it's already out. I didn't know that. It's out. It
Well,
came
if you
out
would
on the
like
1st
to
of
see Sumi
July.
shit herself, she will be playing Echo Paradox soon. Will you be
I
streaming
need
it?
to. I will probably stream it, yeah. But I don't have it yet, and I have so many games still lined up. So it will probably take a while. So first, I will play Little Nightmares 2, which I haven't played yet. And then I want to play Karma, The Dark World, which I want to and have to play for doing my jury stuff for Horror Game Awards. And then I want to play co-op Little Nightmares 3, which is apparently not getting the greatest reviews, but I still want to play it because I'm going to play it with a really awesome person, and we are still going to have a blast. I know it.
I'm going to be playing Little Nightmares 3 with a very awesome person too.
Is
He's
it going
sitting
to be
right here.
BX?
Hi.
We're gonna finish up Split Fiction, then we're gonna play Little Nightmares.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
good.
Sumi, where can we find you on social media, and what is your Scream schedule?
My Scream schedule is currently, sadly, only once a week. I'm thinking about adding another day. I'm not sure. I have lots of plans in my head all the time. I'm also thinking about starting a podcast. But
would
I'm
do
not
that?
sure yet if I want to do that.
A massive podcast.
Yeah, weird, right? I did have a podcast when I long before I started streaming, but it was a German podcast, so that's not gonna help anybody. So yeah, I stream only Saturdays at 1 p.m. CEST, which is Central European Time. That's I think 8 in the morning for Ellie, so 8 in the morning for the East Coast. So very early for the East Coast and not very achievable for the West Coast. Like my best friend can never watch me since I added since I only went to one stream per week because he's sleeping at the time. Yeah, and otherwise I am on Instagram and Blue Sky and Twitter. I went back to Twitter because I didn't have any interaction on Blue Sky, and so I had to go back after 1 year of not using it. I was just missing talking to people, and I absolutely hate it. But it's sadly Blue Sky didn't step up their game and couldn't achieve what I had on Twitter, sadly. So I am back there as well as Sumimi, the way it's written here on Twitch with a TTV at the end. Oh, and of course the CEO's Instagram, which I post on daily. There will be at least one post a day. Since summer, I've been doing really well.
Yeah.
The Instagram is completely blown up. Instagram, follow CEOs on Twitter, follow on Blue Sky, follow on TikTok. Check out the website too. The website was just redone. It's really nice, very accessible. You can find merch. All of our members are up there with all of their social media links. If there's any members that catch your eye, you want to check out, that's a ceosofscreams.com. Believe it is. It's very very helpful resource. And make sure you tune into Sumi Me on TV. On Twitch TV.
On TV.
Soon,
I'm on
maybe,
TV,
soon.
Mom.
Saturday mornings for me, Saturday afternoons for all the Europeans. And Sumi, was really great to talk to you. You are a delight. Really excited to get to know about your upbringing on Twitch and how you became a leader of the CEOs. And I hope that you enjoyed your time here. Thank you for being our 3rd year anniversary for Scary for Her Pleasure. Max and I love this podcast. We love doing this. We love, we didn't always interview horror streamers. It just used to be us just chit chatting all the time. And we have found a real love in, this community and finding out more about the people we love. And every interview that we do, we end up just being obsessed with the people we interview because we get to know them on such a personal level, and it's been really great for getting to know our team members too. So thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you for having team members as well. Like, that makes me so happy to see like people feature when you feature team members, and or when I see team members rating other team members. Every time I see team members supporting each other, especially if it's like a group that I didn't expect, I'm just like, oh yes, I love this.
Yes.
All my babies.
If anyone wants to go back and see our old interviews with CEOs, we did recent ones with Liv Zombie, Mr. Key Rock, Juggernaut. We did last October. Oh my God, that has flown. But if you are interested in being a guest for Scary for Her Pleasure, you could just DM me or DM Max. We do have 2 episodes coming up in November. I believe we're banking one for December, but we are interviewing one CEO of Scream's members, Marcy Macabre, at the end of November, and we will put up a reminder when that goes live in a graphic. So thank you so much, Sumi. We are going to rate out. I don't know if you have anyone in mind.
I do indeed, but I do want to talk about something.
Oh, of course.
So-
I see. I
Max, you want to talk on your own podcast?
Who
Wait, hold
knew?
on. Let me turn
Who
around.
knew? We were talking about him earlier, but Naldo and I have some podcast stuff in the works. It won't be.
More podcasts?
Yeah, it won't be anytime this year, but we are communicating with each other, and we will have something going on next year for sure. So I'm very excited for that. Naldo and I are also very,
Ooh.
very excited for that as well. So,
This is new information for me too. I'm like, what is that?
yeah, I've been meaning to tell you. Haven't gotten there. My bad.
Just like, what is this news?
Congrats, you found out.
You're kicked off the podcast. Naldo is taking your place.
No, that's not what this was.
Scary
No.
for scary for his pleasure.
Yeah. How
No.
dare you?
But
I love it.
we are rating next month's first podcast guest. Her name is Lex. She's on the I believe she's on the Crypt stream team with us. She's a wonderful being. Recent name change as well. And yeah. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate everyone, whether you lurked or chatted. Yeah, we will see you all soon. Let's get the raid message in.
Also, if you want to listen to this podcast, it'll be available on Spotify within the next couple of days, and it'll be up on YouTube as well if you would like to rewatch.
For sure.
Send it to your friends. Show everybody that you know.
Yeah, we also still have merch going on, so if you want to support us that way, as you can see. All right, bye guys.